You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio. WZYE 95.9 FM.
Hey. During the state of emergency, watching TV one night, suddenly it dawned on me, Sakmaras could be right. There's too much racial imbalance here in this country. So I want government to implement SAT's philosophy. Insufficient Indians in the police and the defense force. So fire half of them Africans and replace them with Indians, of course. Then take a trip down to Caroni, pick up some Indians and dress them in blue. Put all of them in the penitentiary to balance the imbalance in prison too. Balance, balance, we'll have a balanced society. Balance, balance, by using SAC philosophy. What you say? Balance, balance. This thing has been going on too long. SAC always complaining, but nobody are taking him on, and that really hurting him. He said not a single Indian on the national football squad, and that is racism, nepotism, discrimination and fraud. And when it comes to athletics, they don't even consider we. They don't want me to go Olympics and represent the country. So I'm appealing to you good people, at least let's give it a try. So they could take away Crawford gold medal and give it to Ricky Chai. Balance, balance, we'll have a balanced society. Balance, balance, by using some philosophy. Balance, balance, fire. I think we should congratulate SAC for such a brilliant idea. If South Africa had a man like that, there'll be no problems over there. All the imbalance in society, SAC philosophy will address. So let's move with haste and put things in place to avoid social unrest. Fire half of the CPEP workers and replace them with Indian doctors. Then turn the CPEP workers to doctors, hardware owners and barristers. Kusal and Junior Sami from road construction, they had to go. Terminate them immediately and give the contract to sell wind gozo. Balance, balance, we'll have a balanced society. Balance, balance, by using some philosophy. Good Lord, balance, balance, fire. For the first time, we have a ministry of multiculturalism, and it's only now I could feel happy singing the national anthem. Hindus were kept out of cabinet by BNM for 40 years, but I'm confident that this government will take care of my affairs. I said the principal in Tunapuna should be replaced by Hazel Manning. The board of the Mahasabha would find that very exciting. And what would be the ideal solution? Old man SAC must resign and get Jack Warner the position, and there'll be no problem with Bandy line. Balance, balance, we'll have a balanced society. What you say? Balance, balance, by using SAC philosophy. Good Lord, balance, balance, balance. Balance, 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 balance.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM. You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM. You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Night and day, for next to nothing pay, so they can't see the way. We don't enjoy equal facility, like Pharaoh and company. Brainwashing we say we free. so much life.
Just come on this way.
Not even thinking that we would realize. And if we criticize, we could be ostracized. We don't know who to trust. That's why I say, Lord, please listen to this prayer that comes from before. Please send us another Moses again. Oh, we just can't go this way. Please deliver us today. Time to make them oppress us pay. So the children could see their way. Make them get on their knees and pray. Then I'll be up to judgment day. Oh, just can't make it this way. Please deliver us today. Be like the Israelites believed they. Please send us another Moses again. Lord, we just can't make it this way. Yes, deliver us today. Oh, we just can't go this way. No, we just can't make it this way. Please listen to what I say. Yes, hurry up with judgment day. We just can't make it this way. No, we just can't make it this way. Must we get old and gray? And the children can't see their way. Oh, we just can't make it this way. Oh, we just can't make it this way. We like the Israelites believed they. Please send us another Jesus again. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 Lord, we just can't go this way. Lord, we just can't make it this way.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate, for the good and the bad. Note, be not mistaken. This is applicable to family as well as friends. Yes, do love, appreciate, and be thankful for your family, for they will always be your family, no matter what. Just know that they are human first, and though they are family to you, they may be a friend to someone else and will fit somewhere in the criteria above. In prosperity, our friends know us. In adversity, we know our friends. Never make someone a priority when you are only an option for them. If you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. Excellence is not an exception. It is a prevailing attitude.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's no other than In the Village with the Dark Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. And we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Let me bring in 1/3 of the Dark Triplets, no other than Diana, Waveney, Greta, Stormy, the Storm, Waveney, the Bajan, the Trinbasgonian, McDonald, Benskin.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the village. The Storm is here. I ain't 100%, but I'm here. Gary Griffith is coming, so I had to be here.
What's up with the hood?
What's up with the hood?
Yeah.
I'm in the hood. In my house, I can wear what I want. What's wrong with you?
Okay, all right. I mean, when you're wearing hood, you know what normally.
What I mean?
You know what's the perception, right? When you're wearing a hood.
So what's the perception when you're wearing a hood?
No, I asked you if you know. I'm trying to.
No, tell me. I need to know. What's the perception when you're wearing a hood?
All right. Well, if you don't know, then it's okay.
Tell me. I buy this with my money, so I want to wear it. So what's the perception?
Any specific reason with the color? Pink is pink.
I like pink. It's one of my favorite colors.
Oh, pink is your favorite color. Okay. You couldn't buy like a red or a yellow or anything. You like red or yellow?
Where's Tommy? Bring Tommy on the show. I ain't no time with you because I'm wearing a pink hoodie. I like pink.
No, I'm just asking. People like different colors.
And the hoodie the air conditioner is on in here, and it's kind of cold. And my joints ache a little, so I have on my hoodie.
The thing in the front, that's a muff. Is a muff?
It's a head. It's a headpiece.
No, I don't know. I thought it was a muff.
You're a regular Trinidadian, Macocious. You're Macocious.
Let me say welcome. Let me say welcome to Marshall, Tommy, the Commissioner of Newark, Nesbitt. Tommy, welcome.
You're Macocious.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I know for sure he's not drinking water.
Mind your business.
He's not drinking water at all today.
Yeah.
I just asked a little question. I just noticed it. You know what I mean?
Mind your business.
She's looking splendiferous in pink.
I'm impressed with the friend that you're keeping beside you there, Anselm.
Oh, in the background. Yeah. It's funny you said that, right, Tommy? That when that fella was in power, right, they run him out of Bali's house, They run him,
No doubt.
They run him, When I say run, right? And boy, these past 7 years, the PNM will take 75% of him as the prime minister. 75%.
But he broke a lot of hearts too, When he called that election, he broke a lot of hearts.
Yeah, he broke a lot of hearts, but they will take 75% of him today as the prime minister, as a leader of the PNM. 75% of him. And I actually tried to get Mrs. Susan Manning, and I'm gonna try to see if I could actually call and see if she'll take the call. I called her, because
he trying to say my hood is a gangster thing, Albert. Okay, that's all right.
you see, I didn't say
Well,
me in. You see, Albert,
I in the Bajan gang then, so you can't handle that.
listen,
I in the Mia Motley gang.
We didn't even talk nothing about the chat yet. Albert put in his 2 BSc degrees to use it.
I in the Mia Motley gang. So let's deal with that.
Did you know Albert have 2 BSc degrees? 2?
I in the Mia Motley gang.
Degrees?
Yeah, he had 2 BSc degrees. You see, Diana, she's not even listening. Do you know that Albert Montano has 2 BSc degrees?
I in the Mia Motley gang.
Let me repeat that. Do you know that Albert Montano has 2 BSc degrees?
I in the Mia Motley gang.
All right. So Tommy, Albert have 2 BSc degrees. You see, means Tommy, did you hear me say anything about any kind of group or anything?
No,
I in the Mia Motley gang.
Albert have, the first one is bacchanal and confusion, and the second one is blame and complain. Albert gets them 2 from University of Canada in Mississauga.
Anyway, you didn't mind your business when it came to her attire, so that's where.
No, I was complimenting her on a pink, a pink head, a pink hairdo.
You need a lesson in complimenting.
All right, yeah. But I tell she was fantabulous.
Yeah.
I did say that. You remember that, Diana Benston?
My air conditioner is on full blast because it's hot up here. So I'm kind of aching a bit. So
you see what it is? I complimenting you on your hood, and you talk about something that to do with the hood, which I didn't even know what you were talking about.
Let me go and see who come in. Let me go and see who come in first in the village. You're in a hole. Stop digging, Anslan.
What hole is that?
You in a hole. Stop digging. Good.
All right.
See who come in first.
Okay, let me get out of that hole right now. All right. Let me jump out that hole. They say when you're in a hole, you have to stop digging, right? Let me stop digging. Yeah, Tommy.
I said save yourself.
Yeah. Let me leave that alone. I'm not talking about no hood or no pink hood or no nothing like that. I done with that. That talk done. You say I have nothing to do with that. So Tommy, if you hear me say anything again about any pink hood, please stop me. All right? Don't let me go down that road and talk nothing but anything have to do with a pink hood. All right? Please. That's the case. I don't want to get in trouble. Oh, God. So, of course, coming in first again tonight was no other than Takesha Claremont. Hey, Takesha, I was wanted to ask you this, where Claremont from? Claremont.
That's a Bajan name.
Takesha, what Claremont from? How do you know that's a Bajan name?
Because my uncle named Claremont.
So because he's a Bajan,
yep,
and Takesha a last name that a Bajan has, it's a Bajan last name.
Yep, she's a Bajan.
Okay, all right. Takesha, can we know, please, where Claremont?
Bajan.
So Takesha was second again, and Takesha sharing out blue hearts and prayers. Takesha boy, love Takesha all the time. Oh God, look, hey, Nadia, Fish, Vonnie, Albert, Ellis, Rose, Chris, Carice, Troy, Hailey, Rajvi, Lana. Oh God, that's about like 30 hearts there, boy, 30 blue hearts, boy. Takesha giving out hearts tonight. Miss Kuva their hearts too. Oh God, only love in the village tonight, boy, is love for so, boy.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I have a complaint though. I find Vonnie does come in here and he don't ever give me no kind of love. Like he don't like Bajan, but that's all right. He don't give me no kind of rose, nothing. That's all right, Vonnie. That's okay,
Okay.
but I'm lay my complaint. Go ahead,
You see
answer.
me? I stay out at that.
Like a private chat right there.
You know, I drinking my coconut water and I minding my business. Not me. I say not that. Yeah, all right. All I just read in the chat there. Vonnie come in, he give to Keisha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 emojis. 7, you know. 7. Right? Yeah. Choice Smith.
Nadia.
Choice Smith, you gotta up your game, my brother. You gotta up your game. The man come and give 4 emoji, right? 3 100s and a yellow thumbs up. And he talking about blessed love to everyone in the village. Choice Smith, you gotta up your game. No. And wait now, you giving to Keisha the same thing you give to everyone in the village. 3 100s and a thumbs up. But you know, was one time they was putting out, they said they was giving people $300 in a t-shirt in Trinidad one time. Yeah?
Didn't you just play that calypso about balance?
Tony, I like that calypso too bad, though. You know, that calypso.
Is Choice Smith you complaining about not being balanced or balanced? Which one?
Well, no, I can't figure it out. I'm trying to figure out whether he balanced or unbalanced. All right, but you know, all right. Tommy, I hear you. I think he's somewhat balanced, because he gave everyone in the village 3 100s and a yellow thumbs up. He gave to Keisha 3 100s and a yellow thumbs up. And then he gave me 3 100s and a yellow thumbs up. So Tommy, you and Diana, all you go get all your emojis tomorrow. Or maybe give it on later in the chat. Or maybe the next program. Right?
You can share yours.
Hey, Bonnie, I have a surprise for you. When we go get PNM people to come in the village. I'm telling all you. All right. All the way to all you go see. Diana, yeah boy, Choice Smith balance. He balanced. Diana, he said bless love to you, Diana. He give you 3 100s and a yellow thumbs up.
Yeah, but Vonnie don't give me nothing, but that's all right. Don't like Bajan woman. That's okay.
But no, you lie. You lied, Diana. You lie.
Vonnie says, Vonnie.
Look at you. Let me put it up on the screen. You have to apologize to Vonnie. Apologize to him. Look, he said it. It's on the screen. Hi, Diana. He give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Apologize to Vonnie.
I apologize, Vonnie.
All right. That's how we just do it in the village. Vonnie, you get your apology.
Sorry, Vonnie.
The man gave 8 and you're complaining.
Sorry, Vonnie. I didn't see that. I didn't have on my glasses.
But, you know what that tells me, Diana? You might be a very difficult lady in order to
sorry, Vonnie.
You might be a very difficult young lady in order to
Raystel said gangsters mostly wear hoodies too.
Oh God.
Thieves wear hoods. You calling me a thief, Raystel?
You see, well, you're going with that thing, not me, you know. You see, I just started a complimentary program, and people taking it all different direction, not me. Look, Choice Smith, I like that. Tommy, you are absolutely correct about Choice Smith. It's balance. Balance. Right. Real balance. Yeah, Nadia, you're inside. Nadia, you know, we have a bone to pick here between you village, you know. You and Joan. Always start off hot and sweaty, telling all of we, all going and walk. And all going and walk.
She in Barbados. She said, come Barbados, no killing.
But you see, she's trying to shift the goalpost.
No.
Well, then it should be easy for her to walk in Barbados. Right?
She's on vacation.
So, that's the time you have to walk, sir, because you will be eating plenty.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, that's exactly how to walk. All right. So Nadia, oh God, Nadia giving out to, I guess 7, but
Hey, Ulrich, leave our guest. Don't be calling my guest no name. Yeah, I tell you. Watch yourself, or I go steer people away from that house that you have strapped down. Don't be calling my guest no name. All
No, but
right,
what
good.
happened? We go sell them to
We
take
go
away
send
Eric.
it to your house to see about them trees you have
Yeah, we
planted
go sell them
back
and take
there.
away plants. That's the correct is right. We go sell them. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. We go send them to take away them plants here. And you see how that fellow was transporting that garbage get rough up? you see how them police rough up that fella? All you see the video of the fella in the garbage with the garbage, right? But we have a next video here in America too. You know, don't care where you're going. One thing is consistent.
Paul Francis say, come down from there.
Who's that?
Paul Francis, come down from there.
Who's Paul? Paul Francis new? You gotta be new.
But you don't know who Paul is?
Who's that? Who Paul?
The brother that comes in and gives the fella from up in that plant, the dasheen and the callaloo and thing. The dasheen bush and thing that comes in and speak truth to power.
Oh, yeah. What is him? All right.
Yeah, come down from there.
Yeah, I didn't even reach up there yet. All right. So all right. So Nadia give me 7 emojis. Tommy, you get 6. Diana Benskin get 3, 6, 9. Right? Ladies again. Ladies gain everything. Gary only get 5 all you. How do you doing Gary that boy?
Gary's a married man. You can't give a ham.
Married too? Why not?
Yeah, you're not supposed to, you know.
Yeah, Gary gained 5. Oh,
that's enough. That's enough.
Look at emojis for Nadia to people in the villages. You know.
Nadia, I see you.
It's only one set of hearts sharing in this thing, you know. Hey, yeah, boy, to Keisha, 1 shot, 1 kill. Hey, John, how you going? John, how was your vacation out there in Barbados, John? How was it? Denise G, welcome. Gary.
She in peace country.
Hey, John, go down by Nelson Street and tell them Diana Benskin send you.
Wait. Go Nelson Street and ask for brown skin.
No, before
brown skin.
Let's see, tell them Diana Benskin send you first.
No, ask for brown skin and tell them the mistress with the security firm send you, you'll be well taken care of.
Oh God, yeah.
Safe.
Watch yourself. What side of the pavement you had to walk on? The right side or the left side?
No, just ask for brown skin.
Huh?
No, it's just safe. You're safe in Nelson Street. You're like Nelson. You're safe.
But just asking a question: what side of the pavement do you have to walk on? The right side or the left side?
That's the safest place. You're safe in Nelson Street.
All right. Albert Montano, good night. Gary, good night. Well, Bonnie said 10 killings today, boy. Only I feel like they go bring back Gigi, boy. Gary Maga go be in the glory, you know. You know what I mean?
He need to go back.
I feel Gary might sell a few of his franchises. I feel if they bring back Gigi, Gary go sell a few of you waffle franchise.
No, he said he double. He's in the double house, boy. What's wrong with you?
And you like the double house?
Oh.
Yeah, but it's like but we had to talk about that, boy. If Gigi come back and Ulrich, don't cuss her, please.
Don't be calling the man no name here. Watch yourself, Ulrich. Good.
Yeah. What Jones said. Tikisha, Gigi will not come on this program. It's Wall Street to have call him and invite him.
It was actually Diana.
No. She's saying that he wouldn't come on if I call him and invite him.
Oh Lord.
Right? So you let the cat out of the bag. I mean. If it was a secret, you don't tell the secret already.
Ray Stell, our crime situation in a mess long time now. True. 10 killing. Yeah. It's like I said, what is going on down there? People just like they're taking out their vendettas. They're waiting.
Hey, Diana, what time you supposed to get?
After 9.
Okay. Okay. I see. Joan, Vonnie want to know if you have room for him. Yeah. Tell him you have a Airbnb. and they have a room outside. The air conditioned.
Peace in Barbados, beautiful Barbados. Jam up the Caribbean Sea.
Well, sorry, money, she had a room. She had a room.
Beautiful Barbados.
Everybody like Gigi except Ulrich, buddy.
Oh Lord.
Ulrich, yeah, boy. We still boy, you inside. Oh Lord, is a police.
I would say.
Go ahead, Tommy.
I would say you mean the tentacles in Ukraine, where the war is.
Yeah, like it's Ukraine, boy.
When I heard that, I said, is Jamaica, is Venezuela we in now?
Yeah.
You know?
But Anna, Paul Francis supporting you, you know. He said, let the lady wear her hoodie, yes.
Yeah. We have Judy Alcantara tuning in too. Yes, Miss Alcantara.
Hamadullah Wahid, welcome, brother. I'm a brother, Hamadullah.
And we need some sort of normalcy brought back to the population. You can't go on that way. I mean, you know, and let me tell you something, Anson. You know, I got to say why I got the Bajan girl got to say what you got to say. Now, no list better not go missing.
Wait a minute. You have to decide whether you are Bajan or you are Trinidadian.
Well, I can be what I want to be because I am.
I gotta put you in the Waffle House, you know.
I ain't no Waffle House. I could be what I want to be because I am what I want to be. The Constitution of Barbados makes me a Bajan. My birth paper makes me a Trini. Hey. So anyway, the Bajan girls say, all you better not be messing with no list this time. You, Dr. Rowley, better leave the list alone and let the list go where it's supposed to go. Okay? Because all this nonsense with list missing and Paula May Weeks kept stopping it, and all you need to let the Constitution leave it alone and let the list go where it's supposed to go, and all you got a proper commissioner of police. You see what's going on? Dr. Rowley, you see what's going on? All right, the list better not go missing, because all you will hear from the Bajan girl. All right,
Dana, yep. all that talk and rhetoric and all that noise you make amounts to absolutely zero.
Hello, Diana.
I still got to say what I got to say.
Hello, Diana. You could jump high, you could jump low, you could take a A, you could take a C, you could take a E, you could take a A, and you could take a B to C out. Yeah.
When I better leave, let me tell them in Bajan, when I better leave the list alone and let the list go where it's supposed to go, and don't interfere with nothing. When I understand what I just said, all right, good.
You think one don't want to hear what you got to say?
When I better leave the list and let the thing play out, and if Gary Griffith come out on top, let him man go along back and do the work. You see how much people getting killed every day? That is what I want every day. All right, he make some derogatory remarks. All right, so everybody just make derogatory remarks. Rowley make derogatory remarks. Kamala Pasabi says some derogatory remarks. But look what's going on. When I want that, when I want a proper society to live in, when I want a society like Barbados, wanna stop now.
Wanna like it so.
When I want this disruptive society with all this killings every day, huh? Gosh, boy, when I want an acting commissioner that is a senior citizen that ain't know what's going on, that what I want. When I need to stop. And you, Dr. Rowley, you best leave that list alone and let the Constitution play out. Because I don't live there, and I'm fed up. I'm fed up of what's going on. All right, go ahead.
Miss Coover said good night, Miss Coover. Good night to you. I had to get back to Diana, rant and rave. All we had to do was get it calypso, rant and rave and misbehave, you know. Hey, Ray still say Gary tried, but the system he works for backfired on him. Only I think he learned is so much he can do without damaging the people around him. Paul Francis says, Jacob take a rest, put back Gigi. right? Bonnie Roberts want to blame me. He says, Ansem, you're making things bad for me with Joan. He blaming me for his shortcomings. Joan says, I'm bringing back the PM from Barbados to help Rowley. I don't know. I don't know. You had to bring she on a private jet. You had to bring she
Yeah.
on. You had to bring she on that she sneak in the country like how Rowley sneak in the country. Dr. Rowley sneak in the country the other night. under the cloak of darkness when nobody wasn't watching.
He fly with two Kobo wing or something.
Kapisa said, according to Ansem, Gary was the worst commissioner.
Oh Lord.
Hey,
But you need somebody there because it ain't going right. Something you got to put somebody there and got some semblance of commissioning.
But listen to this, right? Let's talk about Gigi from a political standpoint. The UNC supported him outside the parliament, and when they went in the parliament, they abstained. Hello?
And
are they going to do the same thing again? Because at the end of the day, the prime minister is the one that makes the decision. Right? So, I mean, if Gary Griffith is the #1 candidate again, isn't it? It's a question. Isn't it still in the hands of the prime minister in order for him to become the commissioner of police again?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You know, and Rowley was lost confidence in he and a sort of malarkey and and the country people killings like you're in more than you're in Ukraine, like you're in Vietnam. So what's gonna happen?
Well, let's listen to what he had to say, right? Because he was at they had a kind of some type of meeting today with some transactional group that was talking about, they want to help the government with the crimes in Trinidad and Tobago. But let's listen to Gary Griffith.
Would like to try to help in the development of Trinidad and Tobago through their expertise in national security. Having said that, based on myself, God has given me a gift. He has given me a gift where there was a situation that I applied for Commissioner of Police, and on 3 occasions there were 3 exams. In 2018, KPMG did an exam, and I got the highest number of points for application of Commissioner of Police. Then PSC did another exam, and again I topped it for all who applied as Commissioner of Police. In 2021, I applied 93%. The nearest senior police officer got about 17% less. If God has given me a gift, I think it would be improper for me not to utilize the gift to help my country. Having said that, I am also the interim political leader of the National Transformation Alliance. So we did ask the question to the rank and file of the NTA and the thousands upon thousands in the poll that was done. 92% of them stated that right now the country is in dire crisis and they require me to reapply as Commissioner of Police. 6% told me to continue to be political. Based on that, I have reapplied for the post as Commissioner of Police. The deadline was at 4 p.m. on Thursday. I applied and it was completed just about 2 p.m. Whoever is to be appointed as Commissioner of Police, I would give them the best support if it is that I am not the person appointed. What I have to do, however, as a citizen, I am a patriot and I'm a humble servant. And I think all persons who want to be humble servants, they need to listen to the voice of the people. The 91% plus of the NTA membership, the rank and file, and also polls were done throughout the country, and it was usually over 90% of persons asking me to reapply. The voice of the people is the voice of God. It will be improper for me to be a servant of this country and to disregard the requests by others. If it is that it does not work, there will be other avenues for me to serve my country. At this time, I have reapplied, and I expect and I have the utmost confidence in the present Police Service Commission. I had meetings with them pertaining to my assessment recently. Obviously, I cannot discuss the meetings with them, but looking and listening to the individuals, I wish to let the country know that I have utmost confidence that the Police Service Commission will do what is required. Other persons will need to do what is required. Whatever happens, again, I wish to state that all I am doing is applying. I do know, as I stated, that this country, we have good and we have evil. And the same way the 91% odd have asked me to reapply for the position of Commissioner of Police, that 9% would involve not just individuals who may be bitter or dislike Gary Griffith, and it is their right, but there are criminal elements in this country. There are criminal elements in the police service, as small as it may be. There are criminal elements not just with pants hanging, but in suits. And these individuals, they were very concerned by what I was doing as Commissioner of Police. I have reapplied simply because I see the need for me to continue to serve my country, and I have a job to complete.
Now, are you confident, given what has transpired before, are you confident that this process is going to be smooth, is going to be transparent, and that you will be getting fair treatment this time? Or interference, I mean, given what has happened before?
Well, I certainly can't speak on behalf of others. I can only speak on behalf of myself. I can only be concerned and be able to react to something that I can do. It is going to be beyond me to be able to understand and accept and be able to see what it is that other persons intend to do. As I said, I have done what I need to do. The vast majority of the country, they've asked me to reapply. I have listened to what they have to say. Whoever will hold strict positions in this country as servants, because if you're a politician, whether you're a politician or any member of the state, your job is to serve the country and listen to the views of the country, the voice of the people being the voice of God. That is the only reason I applied. If other persons may have different views and other things will take place, it is beyond my control. So I certainly cannot act or make a decision based on possible decisions made by others. All I can do is to reapply and top it again, and then after that, we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you.
So let me put Vonnie Roberts. All right. You guys know I try to be as honest as possible, right? And I try to be as fair as possible. All right. So let me go solo here. And we want to deal with why I put this up here in the background. We want to deal with that too as well. Vonnie put up a post, right? Look, to be honest, with Gary, there was still some order and we felt safer. If you are honest with yourself, right, take off your political hat, which is difficult for all of us to do at times, right? And I always take off my political hat many times. Vonnie, I think you are absolutely correct. When you looked at things, in spite of the numbers and the cockroaches and the other things, sometimes, you know, it was a perception. And at the end of the day, perception is really reality. And in Trinidad and Tobago, many people felt safe, you know, under him as the Commissioner of Police.
Amen.
Right? And because I am about country, right? If the people of the country is feeling safer and could sleep a little more peaceful at night, for many in the country, I am all for that. And if this is what he's going to bring with a little temperament of his behaviors, like, for example, that we don't have an escalation of extrajudicial killing in Trinidad and Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If we could temper that and deal with that, you know, we will all be, that's just one of the things in a great place. And don't just target the little black boys in the communities, but target the whole of Trinidad and Tobago. Right? And I honestly believe that when you compare him to the current guy who is there, it's night and day. It's night and day. And at the end of the day, perception is reality. And if them fellas and them, if them bad boys and them think you look soft or you're acting soft, right? They ain't got no respect for you.
Yep.
Right? And I think they had more respect for him than they have for the current guy now. I'll listen to what you guys have to say.
Yep. I agree. Because, you know, I watch it, the situation, you know, it de-escalate or deteriorate. It's deteriorating. I mean, 10 killings today, and they just, you know, ad hoc, they're just killing, shooting. And let me tell you something, if he is not chosen as Commissioner of Police, I want to see what they got. I want to see if they're gonna get on stink and dirty. I want to see if they're gonna get on stink and dirty. If he is not chosen, if Gary Griffith is not chosen as Commissioner of Police. And I'm warning Dr. Rowley, leave the process alone.
Donna Benskin,
and let it work.
Donna Benskin, can you put back on your political cap, please?
Leave the process alone and let it work. If he's chosen as what? If he's chosen as police commissioner, let the list go where it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go to Parliament, or it's supposed to go to the president and Parliament. Let the list go where it's supposed to go, and do not intercept anything. You're already going to mess it up already. Yeah, people want you to go, Dr. Rowley. Don't go and mess up this now. They're going to want you to exit even faster now. You have to listen to me, Dr. Rowley. Don't listen to me. I'm just a ordinary, lowly, or award-winning poet. I don't know nothing.
No, a Bajan.
I don't know nothing.
A Bajan who trying to tell me what to do.
I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. Go and interfere with this process again now. And watch how fast the people will call for your exit from that office. God, don't listen to me now. Don't listen to me.
Hey, Gary,
go and interfere with this process. Don't listen to me.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
People will continue to have differences, and people will continue to have issues with each other. But their attitudes has to take an adjustment. I listened to, I think Gary sent us, I don't know who sent us the link for that show with all the foul language and so on. And when I listened to the way people were talking on that show, and I said, you know what? There's an attitude, a prevailing attitude among young people, probably 40 and below, that is so stink and dirty, to put it frank, that for no reason at all, people will be killing each other in Trinidad, or would kill each other for little or nothing in Trinidad. When you think about the things that was being said on that show. As a matter of fact, I was saying, I wish that particular radio host had not done that show and let people think that she's a decent, quiet girl, instead of doing that show and showing that she could be very, quote-unquote, gangster. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, they know. If they don't know, they don't know.
You have to leave the process alone. Because I was very shocked when he came out and he said, I was the one. I'm the one that leave constitutional processes alone.
So what it is here, it appears to me that Gary Mahabir had inside information when he started that petition. It appears to me that based on my experience on Wall Street, Gary was engaged in insider trading. And he had inside information. And we should have the DPP look at Gary Mahabir.
No, I didn't have inside information. It's I who pushed the thing. But anyway, I got tired of the bullshit, man. I had enough.
Yeah.
But you had inside information. That's inside information. How you go put out?
My decision is I who helped push certain things in certain direction. I helped.
Right. So how you put out a petition, and all of a sudden, Gary Griffith, after the petition was put out, right? You were absolutely 100% correct.
I pushed him. I helped push him. I helped convince him.
All right. I didn't
know what he was going to do. I was hoping he would do it.
Inside information, though. I
pushed him.
I'm gonna confiscate your laptop and your phone and everything, so I could see.
Gary, that's my brother.
So I could get all the information.
I don't have the qualification like him, but let me tell you something. We're the same damn metal. If you want.
But Gary, there are certain qualifications that is put on the table that he might not have,
First of all, Diana, congratulations on your hoodie. If everybody noticed that the Phantom has been wearing a hoodie since he's been on the show.
Okay, the
hoodie club.
Gary, I don't know what kind of hood that Phantom have on there,
Well,
that look like a head-tie to me. I know what kind of hood is that.
It's a hoodie.
Yeah, but Gary, we want to congratulate you on being 100% correct
About?
In that you call for something and the man come out and, you know, based on the information that was in the public domain, you know, he decided to go back.
When
But
I
at the
started
end,
the petition, I didn't ask nobody's opinion. I just got tired of nonsense and I started it. And I messaged him and tell him, I said, listen, man, you know, and I would appreciate if you reconsider. And it's not the first time I told him that. You know, and anyway, so like,
so folks, stick and stay, right? It's top of there. It's in the village with the Dark Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. You know, we're gonna go for a quick station identification, and we'll be right back after this message. Don't go nowhere. It's in the village with the Dark Triplets on WZYE.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Back with you. It's in the village with the Dark Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And this is what Gary get.
Think it over. Think it again. Listen. If all of see Shorty, Chalk Dust, any one of them tell them what George say. Think it over. Think it again. I sit down listening to my radio. They say they're going and jam some calypso. They say they have something brand new from Shorty. So I sit down patiently listening to he. But when I hear the man start back talking preacher, and then he start to diss up at Jala, is when I hear he start calling Iwa George name. I hold my head and start to ball, not my name again. 3 years ago he say, Iwa, you singing Tata. Last year he come back with the same Tata. It look like Shorty I running out of lyrics, and he want me to teach him a few new tricks. I is the man who sing boom boom 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and every time I sing it the people does whine. The Shorty never used to treat young guys so not so crude. I way that teach him how to gamble and eat some food. Think it over. Think it again. Mr. Shorty, think it over. Think it again. Hail Selassie, think it over. Think it again. Cause everybody knows I could sing Kaiso, the party side of me. That is how I does maintain my family. Think it over. Think it again. Mr. Chalk, just think it over. Think it again. They're trying to tell people I cannot sing calypso. It's only boom boom and to the Iowa, I know. But I's the man who sing times hard, let us work harder. 2 months later the bank come to take my car. To be a Kaisonian, you have to make fast money. Money for vitamins, you have to eat healthy. You have to drive good car, not no jalopy. You can't come in town looking hungry. You have to remember you is a role model. And anywhere you go, people will look up to you. That kind of lyric Shorty, I them want me to sing. Like they want to see me eating from the dustbin. Think it over. Think it again. Mr. Shorty, think it over. Think it again. Hail Selassie, think it over. Think it again. Cause everybody know I could sing Kaiso, the party side of me. That is how I just get work in Miami. Think it over. Think it again. Think it over. Think it, I say. Think it again. pling, 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 pling. I hear my telephone ring. When I say hello, it's Pelham Goddard calling. He say, I looking for a shorty. Last year he record, he has some money for me. I hear happy when I say hello, it's Kenny. Songing like if he have a pain in his belly. He and all want a number for the ras. Cause he find he playing up in the ras. All them song this man sing to bad talk me. He never paid the studio no money. I don't know why he don't trim that hair on his head and brush his teeth and pee and go in his bed.
Think it's over. Think it again.
We are back at you. It's in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. So Gary get Gary to think it over. Boy. Gary is our boss. Gary's our boss. Yeah. Gary had a big year, but you had a big. You're practicing insider trading, you know.
Oh.
And
but you can't get Kamala to go home.
Yeah, but you can't get practice some insider trading, you know, Gary. Huh?
Okay, so let's take it easy then.
Kamala in me, boy.
Gary, you're in practicing the internal election just come and gone.
I tell you.
Dr. Khan got the lowest amount of votes. You couldn't spin the thing, Gary.
Some people trying to push the other. Some kind of big UNC says house, but I ain't no big UNC nobody.
Yeah. What you mean? All them PNC voters come to Gary, man. Don't try that now, man.
Well, you know, like I said, I make an effort, but I ain't no big nobody.
If you ask Gary now, for any one of them number, Gary have all of them on speed dial. I's
a fella working for minimum wage, squatting in America in a basement.
Nah, you squatting.
I's a basement squatter, a basement dweller.
You ain't single, you squatting your mother.
I'm going Biden win because Trump would have kicked me out.
Yeah. But listen to this, right? I mean, I'll show you all with this. Cop shoot and kill movement, man. This is in Loop News. A man was shot and killed by police officers in Movant on Saturday. As a matter of fact, I think I could play this, you know. Hold on, let me see if I could play this. Hold on, Let me see something. Hold on,
But that seems to be the normal thing in Trinidad.
Hold on.
Is that normal thing in Trinidad?
Yeah, hold on.
No. Innovations. Want to satisfy your cravings?
Yes,
we deliver freshly made, irresistible tasting pizzas. Want a variety of options? We deliver. Get everything from
Not finding it? Will you find it? Not finding it, Ansel?
Want to satisfy your cravings? We deliver freshly made, irresistible tasting.
Silent.
Yes.
1 minute.
So what's going on there, Tommy?
Well, we just watching, waiting and hoping. But one thing we know for sure, we can never give up.
Nope.
As long as there's life, there has to be some hope.
That's right.
I wrote that, but I was trying to play the audio here, but so let me read it. A man was shot and killed by police officers in Mova on Saturday morning. The victim was identified as Tristan Ratty Springer of 2nd Caledonia Movant. According to an official police report, around 5:45 a.m., police officers executed a search warrant for firearms and ammunition at the victim's residence. Upon entering the house, the officers proceeded to a bedroom where they observed Springer on a bed. They called out to him. He allegedly pointed a firearm in their directions, and the officers opened fire. Springer fell to the ground. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police said a quantity of cash and a firearm was seized, and investigations are continuing. Now, what's missing in this story? Now, I am not saying that the guy didn't do whatever he did, but what's missing? Think about this. What's missing?
Witness.
Okay, what else? What else, Tommy? We're going along the line. What else should have been? This should have
body cam.
Body camera.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much.
Body
Thank you all so
camera.
much.
Yeah.
Why hesitating? Why are they hesitating to put it in play?
Yep.
Why no body cameras? Why? Now, listen. I am not saying anything about whether the guy is a criminal or not a criminal. I am saying that if you go in there and you felt your life was in jeopardy and he pointed a gun at you, right? You have to do what you have to do as a police officer to protect your life so you can go back home to your kids.
But body cams would prove that you're doing the right thing.
Yes.
Other than that, the suspicion that you may have killed an unarmed person, but there may not have been any threat to your life.
Yep.
That's your word against.
And Tommy, that's exactly what it is now. It is their word against a dead man's word.
A dead man's word.
Correct.
That's it.
Against nothing.
Yep.
Well, dead man can't talk.
So it's their word, period.
Correct. And
can we trust them?
That save us a whole lot of taxpayers' dollars, you know.
What is that? No body camera?
No. When they shoot these criminals, the process of going through the court.
But Gary.
You're innocent until proven guilty,
Gary, you are looking at one side of the perspective.
I'm joining that.
Let's say the person is all right. Let me go down your line. Let's say the person is a criminal. And when the police go in there, the guy didn't point a gun at them. He was going to surrender to them. Because he knew that his time was up. Right? It is right to go and execute him. That's right.
I am saying that it saves us a lot of money.
Gary, you can't say that because that could be a cold-blooded murder, extrajudicial killing, anything of sorts to describe something that is not correct.
Before Gary say, well, you know what? We need body cameras in order.
Body cams, but I'm just
you calling the people criminals. You calling the people criminals. You don't know that. You just listen to what the police says. You know what, Gary? That is the acting commissioner of police. I listen to what his police officers told them that the fella shoot the police officer. You remember that?
Yeah, Jokes.
Do you remember that, Gary?
I remember.
Officer Jokes? So you tell me the story then. You tell me the story. What was the story?
I remember what they said that the guy shot the police officer, but the bullet came from one of his colleagues.
Okay. And what did the assistant acting commissioner of police have to come and do after?
What do you mean? He had to come and suspend some of them?
No. Not only that, but what did he have to do himself?
Apologize.
There you go. You know why? You know why, Gary? Because the police officer lied. They lied.
We have a lot of them lying.
They told a whole bunch of lies. And that poor black boy would have ended up in jail for years, Gary. Years. And now you're free.
And Gary, how do we know that in this case they're not lying? How do we know that? We cannot trust them.
Free. They would have been out free. That little black boy would have been in jail for years and suffering, and he didn't do anything.
Which one is it?
What's that?
The one where they shooting at the police officer?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But
they brought him in. They brought him into the prison, into the jail. They brought him in.
What did they say about the killing in Mova that 18 of them got indicted for? What did they say?
Correct. What did they say about that?
Well, let me tell you something. First of all, there have been several incidents where they tossed the gun while the police was chasing them, and they had no gun when the police find them. All right. So these things are you have to wait, because a lot of times.
But Gary, you're not weighing it. You just call a person a criminal without even having all the facts and only listening to what I just read, and you call them a criminal.
That shooting in Movant where the guy didn't have the gun, right? At the time they found them.
Gary, forget about that. Gary, I just read you an article, and you call the guy a criminal.
Point here. There has been several incidents where the guys that shot at the police tossed the gun, and when the police reached them, they had no gun.
What does it have to do with this guy here and what I just read? What does that have to do with it?
It has anything. I'm drawing a reference. So you have to look at things. The situation is not always the same. You know, the circumstances are not all the same. Things are not always as it appear to be. So the body cam is important. It is extremely important. But at the same time, I'm just bringing something to your attention that a lot
No, but you're not really bringing nothing to me. You're not bringing nothing to my attention because I read an article to you, and you jumped to the conclusion that that guy is a criminal. I say, let's say he's a criminal. He's a criminal. I'm agreeing with you. He's a criminal. If you are a criminal and you don't put the police life in jeopardy, the police is allowed to execute you.
A lot of times people shoot at the police and toss the gun, all right? So we can't say, well, the man didn't have no gun at him. Because a lot of the times...
Gary, the man was in a bedroom. Where you go toss the gun? Under the bed?
I'm not talking just about him. I'm bringing a reference to you. A lot of times, police chasing guys, they shoot at them, and then they toss the gun, they pass it to the friend, and the gun gone, and when the police...
Yeah, them three guys in mover toss the gun too. They toss the gun.
They could have been before. They could have been.
Oh yeah,
that's why the 18 police. But Gary, you don't know that. You don't know that.
No, but I write the 18 police getting arrested because they toss the gun. Like if they toss the gun, they ain't go find the gun. If I toss a gun,
if they're within their friends and their community and they toss the gun, their friends come up for them. Every time you go to arrest anybody there, the neighborhood jump on you. They're attacking the police, right?
Everything was clearly on.
I know we have bad police. But all the police wicked in Trinidad and Tobago. All the police. The minute you go to speak to any of them, the police is wicked and they're attacking the police. So you telling me they won't cover up and hide the gun for somebody?
But Gary, you don't. The guy in the bed, you don't know.
Gary,
you don't know.
I'm not referring to the bedroom situation. I'm talking on the streets. A lot of times, the police get shot at, right? And they go and they run through a truck. They toss the gun. Or things like that. So these guys, they have their game on. These guys are organized in their community.
So you should just go and shoot. You should just go and shoot people because some other guys went and tossed a gun. So it gives you the right now to go and shoot after people and kill them.
You can't judge everything. You have to always have all the information. You can't make no judgment.
You just make a judgment without any information. What are you talking about? Gary, you're going back in the waffle house again, boy. You're going back again, boy. You're going back in the waffle house. You just made a judgment with what I read to you. You criminals. And then you talking about this thing. Gary, come on, man. Come on, man.
It frightens me if Gigi thinks like you think.
A lot of times, like, I'm going back to when they...
Yeah, let me hope Gigi don't think like you, boy, Gary, boy. We go be in a mess.
They could have had a gun previously. We don't know. It's just at the time they was found with no gun.
Okay, Gary, you correct. Let's say you had a gun previously. Gary, let's say 2 weeks ago I had an illegal gun. And you come into my house and I don't have an illegal gun. And you shoot and kill me. And you tell me, well, last week somebody told me he had an illegal gun.
I am talking about during the chase. During the chase, the guys who got cornered in Movan, it is possible they could have had a gun, shot at the police, but when the police reached up on them, they didn't have it.
Gary, 18 police officers is going to be arrested.
Yes, because they cannot prove the case. A lot of police cannot
prove the case. Okay, so they can't prove the case. So them fellas and them didn't have nothing.
So the police...
All the video footage is lies.
The police could have been shot at up the street, and when they cornered the guys, they didn't have the gun because they tossed it. These things happen all the time. So you cannot judge the police all the time saying, oh, the fellas didn't have no gun.
So Gary, if 5 minutes before you catch me and I have an illegal gun and I toss the gun in the bush and you don't find the gun, I should be arrested for an illegal gun that you thought I had.
I understand this. During a chase, right?
No, Gary, wait. I'm asking you a question.
You're going from
Gary,
street to street.
Gary, I'm asking you a simple question.
By the time
Gary,
you don't have no gun. Where the gun gone? Then somebody toss it. They pass it to one of
But
the friends.
Gary, if you can't assume that I had a gun and shoot me. You can't do that.
Yeah, that is not what I'm saying. I am saying during a chase, right? These guys shot at the police, and they tossed the gun in the chase. When the police reached up upon them, they had no gun. The police still think they have the gun, and they fired them. Who's at fault there? Can you blame the police for that?
What do you mean the police had it?
You missed the point. Listen carefully what I'm saying.
I don't understand what Gary said.
But that was not the scenario. We know clearly that was not the scenario.
I'm saying during a hot pursuit, police shot at, there's a chase, they toss the gun. By the time the police reach up on them, no gun, police fire at them. Can you blame them?
Gary, I want to show you something that happened here in the United States. Let me show Gary something that happened here in the United States of America. Hold on, I want to show you something. This what happened. This happened recently. Look at this, right? Look at this.
Fired at Jalen Walker. At one point, the protest moved to the middle of the street, blocking traffic, but it wasn't long before they were met by officers who moved them to the side. Jalen Walker's family and their attorney held press conference this afternoon asking for peace.
Gary, this black guy was shot 60 times.
60 times.
60 times, and he was running away. Now, Gary, if I am a criminal, and I'm not running away, right? Running away. I deserve to get 60 bullets, right?
I am saying to you, you're missing the point.
I'm asking a simple question. I'm asking a specific question. Why you don't like to answer the questions?
If depends on the circumstance, I don't know the details on this one.
Gary, I'm a criminal and I'm running away. I'm a criminal, I'm running away.
If you shot at the police a few minutes before that incident happened, and the police is chasing you, the police can still assume that you still have the weapon.
Okay, Gary, in this situation here, the guy did not shoot at the police.
Okay, well, that is in that situation. What I said there, you cannot compare one situation to the other, because a lot of times there are people who shoots at the police, toss the gun in the chase, and the police reach them, they don't want a gun, police don't know that, they fire at them.
Okay, Gary, name me one situation where that happened, where the police killed the guy, and the police officer said they tossed the gun and they didn't find the gun. Or they found the gun.
There has been several incidents in Trinidad where I saw that in the media, that they tossed the gun during the chase.
But Gary, nobody deserve to get shot 60 times.
Nobody deserves that. What I'm saying is,
all right.
The point I'm making again here is, right, that they shot at the police during the chase. Okay. They tossed the gun during the chase. All right. Now there are situations where people got shot that they shouldn't have gotten shot. Yeah,
but Gary, put somebody in the chat here. Judy DeSant saying, I'm reading the chat. Hello, it's pointless arguing with Gary. Gary has a belief that all black men, she said, black men are criminals. That's what she said.
So you see the thinking.
But no,
that is the perception.
Gary, put down the wrong partner.
Do you see the mentality?
Yeah?
It exists, right? Don't ignore it.
Look for stick now. Wait, is a white policeman shot that man and mover? Always some kind of race thing on this program, yes?
Oh, Lord.
I will even respond to that. I will just leave that alone. I will leave it alone. I will leave it alone. Hailey says, Gary fabricating story as fast as he go alone, just like Trinidad police. Paul Francis says, Gary, take a rest, brother. I'm just reading the comments from in the chat.
All the police wicked in Trinidad. All the police wicked. The minute the police go in.
Who said that? Who said that, Gary? Who said that?
That is the mentality. All the police wicked.
Gary, in this program, have any one of us ever said all police are wicked?
I am not talking about you. I'm referring to the comments out there and what is being said. I'm not referring to anybody here.
So Gary, so if comments are being said and those comments are in the minority, they become the majority.
No, it's not a matter of majority. I am fully aware what is being said. I see a lot of the footage of the police being attacked and being called wicked for the simplest thing. The police cannot proceed in a lot of the communities there. They've been attacked.
But Gary, these people in the chat are absolutely wrong. Ellis says, Gary, my brother, I just get a headache when you're making your points. Laugh out loud.
That's correct.
Paul Francis says, I'm just reading it. Paul Francis says, this guy sounding real funny to me.
Yeah. Well, I have seen a lot of footage. A lot of footage for all the crime scene in Trinidad. I see things in action.
Albert Montano says, there was no chase. Right? I'm just reading them. Julie says, Gary's pointless. Yeah, again, and
let me come out and come back in. I gotta come out.
Yeah, but listen to this, sir. We in this program speak truth to power. Okay? Some people may like what Gary says. Some people may not like what Gary says. Some people may like what Diana says. Some people may not like what Diana says. Some people may like what I say. Some people may not like what I say. And that is the beauty of it. We allow everyone to express their opinions. And you have a right to express your opinions. And that is what, in this program, not like other programs, some programs that you go to, right? If your opinion is not pro that program, they try to cut you off or they try to silence you. We don't try to silence nobody inside this village.
Nope.
Nobody. That's why we bring all different people inside the village. And that's why it's called a village. There's a particular reason why it's called in the village.
Yep.
Because in the village, there are many different opinions.
Now, going forward, how do you propose the police proceed in dealing with the people in the community when they go there and they are being attacked? How does the police proceed? What should they do? What is the right thing to do?
So, all right, let me get back to that. Let me just read the next comment. Ulrich says, oh God, Gary, listen to yourself. So every time police kill a black person, they come out with the road march tune. Gary, do you know what it is, Gary? Just what you're saying, right?
So,
Albert Montano says, the case where the 3 young men were killed is on CCTV on the street in broad daylight. And the video was from a retired police officer. I don't know if Gary, did you hear that? Did you hear that, Gary?
No. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Ray still want to know, answer what time the real Gary coming on your chat.
In that same incident.
Hey, Hailey says, everything Gary talking about, he did himself. That's how you know so much. Gary, they're going after you, boy.
But let me tell you something. I want to know, previously to that incident where the guys were shot, do we have footage of all the chase before they reached that point where they was killed? No. We don't have no footage. We have footage for where they were shot. But we don't know if they shot at the police before they got to that point.
Oh, Gary, Gary,
we are fortunate. We have footage for them 3 boys that was executed in Nova. We are fortunate because if there was no footage, Gary, them 18 officers would have walked free.
What is, so where's the footage?
We're not happy, Gary, that we have footage. You should be happy.
Gary, wait. Gary, wait. Let the Bajan come in here. Them is 3 boys that run away from the home. All they talking about them, right? Them is them 3 boys?
No. Them wasn't 3 boys. There were 3 boys in Nova. That wasn't the ones in Lavantil. That's our next story. That's our next story by itself. That's our next story. The 2 in Nova that were executed, and another police officer documented it, and then they had the CCTV cameras, and the police lied about it. And if it wasn't for that, as far as Gary is concerned, them 3 fellas would have shot at them police officers and they would have ditched the gun in somewhere, and the police was running from the police officer, as far as Gary is concerned.
So they didn't have, Who knows? Is there any footage previously to that location where the incident took place? Do we have any footage previously?
Gary, you see, you can't do that. Why are
come
you
on, man.
assuming?
Why?
Gary, so you see you, Gary, you may find yourself in a situation and they could say, you know what? We think Gary had a gun and he did the gun and we got to execute him.
Yep.
It's not a matter of you think. What I'm saying to you is we don't know previously to that corner where they got shot, if they had a gun before that, we don't have no proof.
You see,
Gary, even if they had a gun, they cannot be executed. And they should not be executed.
We don't know before they got to that location. If they shot at the police, we don't know.
So you are saying that
not be executed.
You are saying that these 3 black boys possibly had a gun. The police can't prove they had a gun. They executed them. They go and arrest them, and you try to make excuses for them. Make it make sense now, Gary.
There is no evidence. I didn't hear any statements. If they shot at the police down the street before they got there, I don't know.
Gary, the CCTV cameras caught the boys on the spot where they were executed.
Yes, I understand that spot, but we don't know what happened previously down the street.
Gary, you cannot go speculating, and that is the problem. You can't do that, Gary, and that is the problem, and that is where you allow, corruption now. That's where corruption come in. Where and thank God that you had these people, you had the camera on scene to catch what the 18 of them doing, because 18 of them would have get away. You see, the lead would have said, well, all right, we will go and we go say this and we go say that. You can't do that, Gary, because in those neighborhoods, you're going to end up executing all them young men in them neighborhoods. You can't do that, Gary. Come on.
I'm not condoning that. And what I'm saying to you is,
but you cannot speculate. You have to go by the evidence, Gary. And if you have the evidence, and when you take this thing to trial, you can't be doing that. Come on, Gary.
Let me remind Gary. Some years ago, police murdered 4 of them in Muruga, and the autopsy showed they were shot under the arms, which means they surrender. You know what happened? A female police officer turned witness and told the story. Talk now, Gary. Talk now.
Gary doing that, Gary.
And he's still in court, Gary. Talk, Gary. Go ahead. Talk.
Because Gary, you know what can happen? Let me tell you, Gary. The same situation can happen in other neighborhoods. The same situation can happen in other neighborhoods. You don't want that happening in the Westmorings and the Shagwanesses and the, okay? So you don't want that.
1 minute.
Okay?
Albert Montano. Gary, is it okay to enter a police home and don't expect him to react? Gary, I want you, Gary. You see when you say them are criminals, right? That fella is a criminal, right? I want police to enter your home, Gary. And you react in a certain way, Gary. And what about if the same fate happened to you and your family, Gary? What about that? Hey, Gary?
And according to somebody here, the guy's hands were in the air.
Wait 1 minute.
How your hand in the air?
Dana, wait 1 minute. 1 minute. Gary, you call the guy a criminal, right? I want the police, right, to mistakenly come to your place of residence.
Okay.
Right? And you are scared. And you move in a certain direction and they execute you and your family, Gary. I'm not saying that to happen, Gary. I'm not saying that to happen. Gary, let me say, Gary, your neighbor, and them going in there and they execute all of them and they find nothing. That's acceptable, Gary?
I am not saying that. I am that you misinterpreted my point.
I didn't misinterpret nothing. You call the guy a criminal. How is that misinterpreted? That's your statement, not mine.
So why did the police storm his place, residence? Why did the police?
Gary, you don't know. You don't know. You argue. You don't know. They corrupted elements in the police. What you heard? You heard Gary Griffith said it himself. They are corrupted police officers.
There are corrupted policemen, and all the police is corrupt.
By the way, Gary, Eugene Julian said, Gary, by the going after you tonight, boy. Gary, you were not the one to convince Gary Griffith to apply. 91% convinced him.
Gary can bat in his crease, you know. So all they come on, keep holding. I'm ready.
Yeah, but Gary, you're absolutely off base here on this one.
You're missing the point. I am saying
So I missing the point. Diana missing the point. Tommy missing the point, and all these people in chat missing the point, and there's only Gary who's right.
How does it become a black boy, white boy situation here? Who talking about that?
Who said that? Who said black boy, white boy?
Yeah, the people in the chat talking about race and different new community.
But you don't say the black. You don't say the black boys is the criminals. You don't say that.
I just said that the black boys is the criminals.
Yes, you don't say that.
Yes, you said that.
Yes, you said that.
Yes. Black boys are criminals.
Yes.
Yeah,
you
say that all the time.
You say that all the time.
You say a certain race of people from a certain neighborhood commits the crimes.
But that is in majority of the case you be seeing. If there's take up that, but that doesn't mean that. So there are black boys in other neighborhoods not committing the crime.
Trinidadian, Trinbagonians committing the crime. Let's go there. It's Trinbagonians committing the crime. End of the story. All right. You gotta stop it.
Anyways, what I'm telling you is there are same people in different communities not doing the same thing that other people in other communities doing.
Is Trinbagonians committing the crime. End of the story. Is Trinidadians and Trinbagonians committing the crime.
Let me tell you something.
I tell you, Gary, when you look at them, Gary, I need you to stop for a moment. You do not know the ethnic makeup of these people that are committing. They may be Douglas. You don't know. Stop with your rhetoric. With your rhetoric.
I'm speaking.
You don't know.
Of video footage.
Oh my God, you need to stop with that. And that is a dangerous rhetoric. I told you Hitler started with that foolishness. Gary, Hitler started with that foolishness, and that is what caused the killing of the Jews. You need to stop it. Stop it, Gary. You are in a position of authority, and you need to cease. Cease it, Gary. Trust me when I tell you to stop. Stop it.
It as I see it.
You need to stop it, Gary. It is a dangerous precedent. Gary,
Guys, we're gonna go for a short break. We're going for a break. We're going for a short break. We'll be right back. It's Individuals with the Dark Triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. We're going for a break. We'll be right back.
I don't care how good you are. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how much you work on yourself. There are some times when things aren't going to go right. There are times when anything that can happen will happen.
Life happens. The unexpected, the uncalled for, the unintentional. We've been damaged emotionally, damaged spiritually.
It may be your business. It may be your heart that is broken today. It may be the number in your bank account that is screaming, you are broke.
You can break physically, you can break mentally, you can break your heart, you can break your spirit, and all of those are going to leave a mark. But the mark that they leave can be the mark of victory or it can be the mark of defeat.
It is staying with the breaking that produces the blessing. It is not what you go through that determines where you end up. It's who you listen to. Because I think right now you are walking through a valley between two voices. One is wisdom, one is worry. One is gratitude, one is grumbling. One is blame, one is faith.
Because every time you break, and in every way that you break, while it's a chance for you to give up and for you to fall apart, but there's also opportunity to get stronger and get smarter and get faster and get tougher and get more stable and get more resilient and get better.
What I need you to do is I need you to find a reason to keep going. And if you can find a reason to keep going, I know you're strong enough to do it because you're human. And every human has what it takes to get past whatever they're going through if they decide to. Push through it. Push through it. Tragedy and trials come to everybody. Only the strong survive.
The fight isn't over. The fight is just beginning. You have the opportunity to show the world what you are really made of.
I need you to look at that sickness that's going on in your life right now, whatever it is. I want you to say, I can beat it. I can beat it. I will beat it. I must. I got a family to live for. I ain't through yet. My life ain't over yet. There's some things in life you don't need no degree for. You don't need no money for it. You don't need no support for it. There's something in life you just gonna get through when you tell yourself, I'm gonna get through this.
Regardless of what happens to you in life, regardless of the adversity, regardless of the opposition, regardless of the trial and tribulation, nothing can stop you. The only thing that can stop you is you. No situation, no circumstance, no piece of adversity can define your life. Never let a circumstance define you.
And I'm not retreating. I'm not running. I don't care what they say on paper. I don't care if you say we outnumbered. We live by this and we die by this. We don't retreat. We don't run. We gonna stand, we gonna live, and we gonna die by what we stand for, and everybody gonna know what we represent and what we're part of.
I got staying power. I got staying power.
Be encouraged today that no matter what you walk through, no matter how broken your marriage is, no matter how many times you failed,
there is within you a spirit that is greater than whatever is going on around you.
If you would be willing to fight your way through this battle, fight your way through cancer, fight your way through that academic struggle, fight your way through divorce, fight your way through it. If you are willing to fight your way through that singing career, fight your way through boxing, fight your way through football, I'm telling you, at the end of the fight is going to come victory.
And as you crawl up and out of that dismal and wretched place, as you rise above what you were, and as you take the form of who you are supposed to be, you will see that in the very act of standing up, in the very act of fighting on, you will become and you will remain unbroken.
Servant of the People, remembering the life of Patrick Manning. He was appointed Prime Minister 4 times. What a feat! Patrick Augustus Mervyn Manning was ever dedicated to public office and service to Trinidad and Tobago. Born to humble beginnings on 17th August 1946 in San Fernando, Patrick Manning attained his primary and secondary education in South Trinidad. In 1971, a 25-year-old Manning entered the political arena during a no-vote campaign when he was elected unopposed for the San Fernando East seat on Nomination Day. The general elections were held on 24th May. The People's National Movement won all 36 seats in Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Manning was appointed a parliamentary secretary during the years 1971 to 1978. The death of Prime Minister Dr. Williams in March 1981, Mr. George Chambers, who was Minister in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, became Prime Minister. Patrick Manning replaced Mr. Chambers in that ministry, in addition to having his own portfolio as Minister in the Ministry of Information. General elections were held in November of 1981, and Patrick Manning was appointed Minister of Energy and Natural Resources. When the PNM lost the general elections in 1986 to the National Alliance for Reconstruction, led by Mr. Arthur N.R. Robinson, Mr. Manning was one of 3 PNM candidates who retained their seats. The other two were Maurice Marshall and Muriel Donovan McDavidson. It was untenable that a leader who lost his seat could remain as leader. As such, Mr. Chambers stepped down from the position. Responsibility of the party fell to Mr. Manning. He was appointed leader of the opposition in Parliament and within 2 months was elected to the post of political leader of the People's National Movement. It is often said that the character of a man is seen clearly in times of adversity and hardship, and what a time it was, with only 3 persons to keep a government in check. But Mr. Manning did not waver in the face of an uphill battle of guidance of his 3-man army in Parliament. As if that was not enough, then came the 1988 NAR split, and with the crossing of the floor of a Basdeo-led faction of government members, the PNM became a minority opposition party in 1990. Following the attempted coup of that same year, United National Congress founder and leader Mr. Pandey and his colleagues told President Noor Hassan Ali they were opposed to the government of Prime Minister Robinson and also called for Mr. Manning to be removed as opposition leader. President Hassan Ali revoked Manning's appointment and appointed Pandey in his place. During all this, Mr. Manning did not falter or lose hope in his party and worked tirelessly to rebuild PNM member morale and public confidence. His tenacity paid off. The PNM defeated the NAR in the December 1991 elections, and after 20 years in politics, Patrick Augustus Mervyn Manning became Trinidad and Tobago's 4th Prime Minister. His first term in office was not without controversy. In 1995, from August 5th to 8th, House Speaker Okasi Paul was under house arrest by the Manning administration for allegedly attempting to usurp government's authority in the parliament. This was among the things that led to Manning calling a snap election on November 9th, 1995, 1 full year before it was due. The PNM and the UNC each won 17 seats in Trinidad and the NAR the 2 seats in Tobago. The UNC and NAR joined in a coalition to form the government, and Mr. Manning again returned to the position of leader of the opposition for the following 6 years. When in 2001 the UNC-led government collapsed in office, this triggered the December 10th elections, which ended in another tie, with both the opposition PNM and the governing UNC winning 18 seats. Then President Arthur N.R. Robinson appointed Manning Prime Minister. But even with a hung parliament, Mr. Manning hung on to government until the need to pass a budget forced him to call elections in October 2002. His party won these elections with 20 seats to 16. In this term, Mr. Manning introduced the Government Assistance for Tertiary Education, or GATE, in 2004, and 190,000 people have benefited from it so far. In 2003, he opened the National Library Complex on Abercrombie Street, saying the library was part of the capital's new city centre, already established by the Brian Lara Promenade and the City Gate. He added that phenomenal things are in line for Port of Spain. With the increase of constituencies from 36 to 41 for the general elections of November 5, 2007, a tie was no longer possible, and again the PNM won, this time with 26 seats. And as described by PNM Senator Foster Cummins in his tribute, Manning was a true comeback kid. Mr. Manning was again appointed the Prime Minister. This, however, proved to be arguably his most controversial term, when rising crime and some national projects drew public criticism. On April 9, 2010, he advised President George Maxwell Richards to dissolve Parliament, and the general elections was called 2 years sooner than constitutionally due on May 24, 2010. The PNM lost to the People's Partnership Coalition led by Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Following the loss, Mr. Manning resigned as political leader of the PNM, but continued as Member of Parliament for the San Fernando East constituency, a seat he contested 10 times until his retirement in 2015. When the 10th Parliament was dissolved in 2015, Mr. Manning, who was 68 years old, had served in the political arena of Trinidad and Tobago for 44 years. U.S. politician Adlai Stevenson once said, Patriotism is not a short and frenzied outburst of emotion, but the tranquil and steady dedication of a lifetime. The political career of Mr. Patrick Augustus Mervyn Manning can wholly be described as that of a true patriot. 44 years of unbroken public service to Trinidad and Tobago.
So there you have.
Thanks for educating me, Anselm. Are we there? Anselm gone? Thanks for educating me. I think Anselm fell off. I learned a lot of little tidbits today, historically about Mr. Manning. Remember, I would have migrated by that time. I would have left Trinidad and Tobago. But, you know, I'm glad to have been reminded about his patriotism. Thanks, Anselm, for reminding me. Are you back on?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
I think sometimes, you know, we have a
Mhm.
tendency to forget these type of things, you know, when
Mhm.
we look at, you know, people in the past who have done tremendous things in the country. And, you know, because, you know, we are 9-day wonder, you know, and we forget that, you know, when people do things to make the country better and when things were being done, you know, there was a lot of controversy. There was Calder controversy, which basically rode Dr. Rowley into, you know, the power as the political leader of the PNM, you know. And, you know, there's a lot, you know, so, yeah, I mean, go ahead, Tony.
I'm very grateful for his effort to improve the life of Trinidad and Tobagonians and giving me an opportunity to also contribute, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, you know, looking back on it, there were some things that he did that I don't think we'll ever see in Trinidad and Tobago anytime soon. I don't think any party that goes into power will ever call any snap election in Trinidad and Tobago. Though we're not going to see that like what happened in Barbados. You know,
I would have frequented the region up to 1984 when I migrated to the United States. So I would have probably been in Trinidad, you know, and Tobago along Easter, you know, that time when Chambers was in government, you know, and but then I would, you know, I didn't go back there that often, but I would have stayed abreast of what was going on. But, you know, it's good to be reminded of, you know, the people who were there before. But I lived under Dr. Eric Williams as a young lass, yes.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, there were so many things happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Look at the Hyatt. People were complaining about the Hyatt. What are they building that for? You know, they're only wasting money. You know, and you know, but it's interesting though. I saw a video today by Philip Alexander about a highway to Point 14, and you could drive about 5 minutes from a certain part to get from Point 14 to Library or some kind of thing.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like looking at that, and I'm saying that.
But then when they got to a certain area, they stopped. They didn't build it no more.
Right. And I'm like,
they stopped construction.
Why would you not use the highway for the benefit of the people of Trinidad and Tobago?
Just sitting there.
It's just sitting there, man, rotting.
Yep.
And it seems like they're still working on it, you know.
Yep. Just sitting there.
But we are sad, you know. We are sad set of people, you know.
Yep. Who it seems as though it may have been started by the opposition. I don't know. And the incumbent don't want to continue it. It don't make no sense to me.
And
don't make.
And Diana, today, right? I listened to the the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago had his press conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the purpose of this press conference? I missed something. What was the purpose of that press conference? And I hear he talking to a reporter, and he go back to something the reporter did in the past. But that tells you about an individual, you know.
He was buffing them again. He was in his buffing stance again.
Something happened in the past with the reporter, and he said, "I remember you, you know. I remember you from back then, you know." I mean, I am like, really? And I'm not gonna answer your question. I say like Donald Trump, when he came to America, you went and talked to Donald Trump. You telling a reporter you not answer any question? You not, and the taxpayers' money paying you, and he also said that he went and he pays $95, some type of tax he had to pay. You didn't pay that. The taxpayers' money pay that. He didn't. Whenever he go anywhere, he don't use the money. It's taxpayers' money he using.
But I not so much he confessed today. He left the country. Nobody really didn't know, or did they announce he left the country, and continuation was by Spurt. Nobody didn't know it. Everybody had to speculate, right? Okay.
No, they know what's him. They knew what's him, but
they knew it was in birth.
Whenever the Prime Minister goes out of the country, the only person that's the acting Prime Minister is the Antiguan. I think he's an Antiguan. It's the Antiguan that was born in Antigua. He's the only person that's acted as Prime Minister. Nobody else.
Okay, all right. So my thing is, what I'm saying is, was there? Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord.
It was clear he went to the Summit of the Americas. All right.
All right. It was clear he went to the Summit of the Americas.
And subsequent to that, he stayed for medical purposes.
For like 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
So what's the problem with that?
What do you mean, what's the problem with that? You are a Prime Minister of a country. You are on taxpayers' dime. You are spending taxpayers' money. All that money that you go into the hospital is taxpayers' money. That's not your money. You have to report back to the people of the country. I don't want to read no Facebook posts. There's a Facebook post. If somebody living in the slums up in Sandy Grande, they don't have any Facebook. They might have a radio, or they might have a TV.
Go ahead.
Right? You're supposed to report back to the people of the country. Right? You going for 2 weeks. Right? All right. Take a week and go and do your medical, all the medicals about the place. And the next week they ain't hearing from you? Nah, that's madness.
So then
Let me say this. If that was Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bissessar was the Prime Minister, or did I hear the uproar in Trinidad and Tobago? Did I hear the uproar? Oh, she traveling this, she going here, she going all about. You want taxpayers' money and you silent like a lamb? Like if you went to the dentist and he give you permanent Novocaine? And when you come back, you tell a reporter, me I ain't answering your question? No, it's taxpayers' money you using.
Going back in his uncouth.
And the media in Trinidad and Tobago, them media and them like the all this Christmas tree out in the forest, there are no balls. All of them.
I watch it now. We all the way here in the United States, and we know that Mia Motley was down with COVID.
And she's still talking to her people. He out here. If it was me, when I go in and take that test, when that doctor go in and take his finger and throw it up, I tell her, I think like they want to just cover my all the rest of parts, and I want only to see what it is I doing, spending taxpayers' money. When we go in the hospital, I have a video going in the hospital with me, so I could be held accountable to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
But you said that the Prime Minister will be seeking medical attention after the summit. That's why he stayed back.
And 2 weeks later, we had to go and read a post from the office of the Prime Minister to find out what's going on with you. Right? And that's acceptable. So Gary, So whenever a prime minister comes into power in Trinidad and Tobago, that person will go away for 3 weeks, a month, and they don't have to report back to the people. And I don't
tell the
think
people where he gone.
Don't have the report. He did say that he sought medical attention while after the summit. He said that.
How long ago was that?
Where did he say
How long ago was that?
Where
How long
did
ago
he
was
say
that?
that?
How long ago was that?
4 weeks.
Huh? How long ago?
When did he say that, Gary? Somebody beeping. When did he say
that? Today, and there was some kind of notes out there that he was seeking medical attention after.
Gary, it takes you 2 weeks to get your prostate exam.
Oh, Lord.
Eh? You just come in eating, the doctor put on the gloves, they put some Vaseline, and she go up there and she, well, not she, he go up and check it. He say, hey, boy, that thing all right. It take 2 weeks to do that? Gary, come on, man. Gary, you're waffling again, man. You're going back again. The doctor put the gloves on. She put some kind of Vaseline. And she had to put plenty Vaseline. Right? And when she do ups, and she put it up, you know, you have to jump a little bit if you're not accustomed.
So why you beating up the Prime Minister for seeking medical attention for?
What's that?
Why you beating up on the Prime Minister for seeking
I'm not beaten by the... No. Do not misquote me. Do not misquote me. I am not beating up on the Prime Minister for seeking anything to do with medical. I am not. I am holding the Prime Minister to task because the Prime Minister went out in country. And the only way you can hear from the Prime Minister is to go to the office of the Facebook page for the office of the Prime Minister. If you're in our Facebook, forget about it. Or you go to Dr. Rowley's Facebook page. No kind of... How long would it have taken him to do a 3-minute video and talk to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and put it on CNN, TV6, TV7, TV8, CNC4, CNC5, Express, Guardian? How long will it take to do that? How long?
I agree with that.
How long? Oh God! And the PNM people say, well, what? The man going for a medical test. So what? Other worry money going. Anyway, folks, stick and stay. We're gonna go for a quick station identification. And Gary, I would have keep that gloves as a souvenir. The gloves with the doctor use. It's in the jacket.
But that goes with Dr. Rowley. He don't have...
We'll be right back after this. Stick and stay, don't go down here. Of course, coming up next is the former Commissioner of Police and the NTA, the political leader of the NTA, Gary Griffith. Stick and stay. We'll be right back after this short message. Gary, when you went, did they use the gloves or did they use something else? Coming back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
Equities in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. That's Tuesday. And I want to tell you people something. We have to start holding our politicians accountable. All right? Because if that was the other side of the fence, right? If that was Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bessessa, who was out of the country for 2 weeks.
She ain't had no prostate, yeah?
Well, I mean, you know, would that be something else? Would that be a mammogram? She would have a mammogram.
Hey. I had a mammogram this week. Them ain't nice at all.
You gotta be like,
no. Them mammogram machine, a man invent them. They need to put the man jewels in between there and squeeze them. And they're going to reinvent the machine. I don't like them mammogram machine. No.
So then let me finish. If she had to go and take a test, and you have to be reasonable, a week, you take a week, you know, you could take a week and, you know, make sure everything in the right place. You understand?
Healthcare in the country, in the Caribbean. How come he had to stay overseas?
Well, listen, I don't have a problem.
Hey, Gary, maybe the gloves overseas are much, you know, tender.
Yeah, tighter. The gloves tighter. And they have a different kind of jelly. It's a different jelly that is used in America.
Slab, you're hitting below. You know.
No.
Wait. You know, like you had experience with them thing answer.
What do you mean? When I see the drink and she put it on and she dips it on the jelly. I say, oh! I started getting uncomfortable one time. Then I see all this I said, what she doing all that jelly, right? I said, what the hell is this? I started getting real concerned. You know, but I lose any problem because you know it's a woman doctor, so I was good. I was good to go. You know?
Thank God I had a prostate.
Yeah,
Lord God, God.
I was gonna ask you, is that much? You gotta use so much jelly? She's like, so much they got the old bottle of the jelly, you know. Oh, hey, let me go to the chat pic before we get Gary Griffith here. We could supposed to get Gary Griffith.
But listen here, on a serious note, that is a very important exam for men to do, you know, because that can save your lives, especially if your PSA level is over a certain number. You all need to do your prostate exam. That could save your life. Okay.
Diana, you see these fellas don't start to make joke already, but in the chat. A man say on some line, you got his prostate milked.
Oh!
I ain't even gonna say what.
Tommy kind of quiet there, boy.
Rachel say you get weak in your knees.
Tommy, you're quiet, boy.
Judy Descent says, Wall Street come to TNT with your party. Oh God! All this is a serious thing, you know.
I know the prostate situation is a serious thing, and I take it seriously.
Yeah, it's a serious thing.
Yes,
you know,
and so is the mammogram.
It was a strapping man. No, my doctors are female.
So is the mammogram. I don't like that mammogram machine at all. It had to be a man invent that, and I would like he to put his jewels in between there and squeeze it, and let me see how it feels.
No, but Diana.
Yeah.
Diana, Judy says, he weak belly. Maybe enjoy that exam, laugh out loud. All the people talking serious thing. Oh God, I certain.
Yeah, I watch when I went and did the mammogram, the girl that do the mammogram, she have things maybe as big as a cherry.
But let me say this. Eugene Julian says he think the PM had an excellent press conference.
Yeah.
Eugene, like you look at a press conference on Fox TV. You have to be looking at that Fox TV, NBC, or CBS because them carry that press conference. I don't know which press conference you was looking at, Eugene Julian. That was an excellent press conference. That press conference, that man talking all kind of things that are going this and not only that, you flew in a day and you're flying out next day. You flew in to fly out.
Yeah, look, you see, Judy agree with me. That machine true, Judy. That machine dangerous.
Yeah. That machine. Yeah.
I don't like. That's not me.
That wasn't working where he was located here in America, so he had to go to Trinidad to do the press.
Oh,
Ulrich, you're wicked. He's a wicked man, Ulrich. I can't read that. I'm not reading that, Ulrich. All you can read what Ulrich put in the chat, but I'm not putting that up on the screen. But Diana, you think that press conference was an excellent press conference?
No. He started number one. He sounded shaky. Number two, he went into buffing mode again. You know, I said, here come Dr. Jekyll and Hyde coming out. He started buffing the poor fella again. I said, oh, here we go. I said, Lord.
He cannot help himself.
Yeah. And I said, when he started drinking water, I said, he minding the business now. Here you go. He started getting on tripping again. So I was in the chat there teasing him. I said, oh Lord, KPB and KCR need to retire. Them two senior citizens need to go home.
Look, somebody send me a video in order for me to play. Yes, I did video with the girl. I go play it. Only I just play anything on here. We go play it. You know? Yeah. Capiza said it was a great press conference. And let me tell you something.
Hardly hear him. He was
Ellen said the doctor wants your bracelet. All you're wicked, you know. Not me, you know. I talking serious stuff about, and I want to take this thing. Let me get Gary Griffith, eh?
Yeah, please.
Not me, no.
You're wicked. You're wicked.
Yeah. Let me get serious.
My dog, holla.
Yes.
Levi Julian, yeah, we criticize everything he does. Answer me dog inside.
Compliment when needed.
Who's that?
Criticize when needed.
Crazy
K9. Correct is right, Tony. Yeah. That conference, that was not good at all.
At all.
And I feel you ought to call him.
Who?
GG.
Gary Griffith.
All right, let me call him and tell him we calling him.
Yeah, call him.
Okay.
So yes. Oh God! All his kicks. A man says, "I'll some leave the doctor office walking on his toes." With a high pitched voice, Hailey says, this serious thing and all you're making joke, you know. You know what I mean? Nadia says, also, I agree with you. That was not a good conference. No, that was not a good conference. Come on, Eugene, man. Come on, man.
But the doctors don't have to do certain things like they used to do.
Conference, and he ended up blaming the UNC. If he didn't blame the UNC, that would have been a bad press conference.
Wait. Yeah. Eugene Julian, Wall Street, you criticize everything the PNM say or does. Tommy, I just criticize everything the PNM does, say or does. He says everything, you know. Everything, you know. I just criticize everything.
No, how could you?
I mean, Eugene, I feel you went to Dr. Rowley. Let me just say that. Eugene Julian criticized everything. Eugene Julian, everything. The man didn't say he criticized some things, you know. He said everything. Nah, Eugene Julian. I feel Eugene Julian and take your pill, you know. I feel Eugene, go and take your pill, eh? Go and take your pill. Eh? And let me say this, eh? Let me say what's important.
Okay, Anselm, you can call.
Yeah, I am critical of my party because I want them to improve. I want to see betterment in the party. That is why I criticize them. But I don't criticize them for everything. By the way, Eugene, go on social media and you will see that I am the one that established 75 things that the PNM have done over the past 7 years. I mean, let's try to get Mr. Griffith again.
He's waiting.
Yeah. It's 68326. Oh, I'm calling the number.
You don't
send the one that I told you.
Yeah, the 4279.
Yeah.
You didn't send him the link, Anselm?
No,
he's driving.
He was in transit. He was in transit.
He's somewhere and he can't come in.
Yeah.
So it has to be a... Is it ringing?
Yeah, you ain't hearing it?
No.
You not hearing it?
Nope. I'm not hearing. You hearing anything, Tommy? We not hearing nothing.
You guys not hearing nothing?
Nope. We not hearing anything ringing. We don't know what you
used to
did.
hear it before, right?
Yep. We not hearing nothing ringing. I don't know where you went and interfere with.
Let me try something.
You went and you interfere with something and it ain't working.
You guys hearing me now?
We hearing you, but we're not hearing anything.
Let me try it again.
Yeah, we hearing it now.
I'm hearing.
Mm.
You hearing it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gary thought it was Gary number it was coming from. And he see my number. He said, that fella again?
You're calling from the 973-868-1444?
Yeah, I'm calling from my own phone.
All right, that's the number I tell them to be calling.
But I'm calling him on WhatsApp, you know.
Yeah, that's why I told him you'll be calling him on. Unless he didn't add you, I don't know. Or he said he be dry, he be.
Well, I mean, I'm calling him on the...
All right, let me go out and see what's going on. Come on.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to call some other potential guests. Right?
Let me see. Hold on. Who else can we call? No, but we gotta wait for him. Let's wait to see.
Yeah, let's wait.
Yeah. Let Gary call Gary. He elicit Ulrich said divine intervention. Ulrich, nah man. We want to hear all voices. Judy says, no Wall Street. Tell it like it is. This is what Chinese don't understand. That if PNM do wrong, show them up. Rowley's the worst PM. Oh God. Lord have his mercy. Nadia say you don't like how he speaks.
Okay, I gave him the number to tell him to call in then.
Okay. Gigi don't answer, boy. They bar talk you and call you cockroach, man. Don't answer. Gigi, that's what Ellis says. Ellis don't want him to answer. Ellis, why you don't want him to answer? Ellis was a Gigi fan, you know? Eugene wants to say, Wall Street, name one thing you gave the PM credit for. Eugene, I will look in my phone and I will give you 75 things. As a matter of fact, I sent it to you privately. 75 things. I used to give them 75 things in the person.
The Red House, the outhouse, the Mad House.
I used to give them credit for
the government house.
I take back all them credit. I take back all them credit. I give them credit for that, but I take it all back. Right? Yeah, Eugene, I give them credit for the 3 buildings sitting in Chumaka Claventil for 15 years, being unpainted, 7 years under the PNM. I give them credit for that. I give them credit for the abandoned building sitting 7 years in Chumaka Claventil under the PNM. I give them credit for that. I give them credit for the Workers' Bank building in Port of Spain, where we could now have the Laventil to Washington Empowerment Center, but it's still sitting there abandoned. I give them credit for that too.
People, he's calling me. He's calling me. Let me take a call.
Okay. Yeah. Lana, how you going? So, folks, we're trying to connect with Gary Griffith. George Thanos, welcome. GG for COP and PM, boy. Oh, God, George. Oh, God. George won both the COP and PM. But listen, folks.
Anselm, you were about to call out his number on air. People thought, so that's why he stopped you.
No, I didn't call it out.
That's why I told him. I told him
No, I didn't call it out.
You didn't call it out, yeah.
I know better.
He said to try calling him now.
Okay, let me try again.
Try calling.
I ain't gonna call it out on here, man.
Yeah, I told him. I said, yeah.
Yeah. You sure he seen my number? I don't think he seen my number.
I don't know.
He could have blocked my number, you know.
Oh.
If he blocked it, he wouldn't see it. No, if he blocked it, he wouldn't see it. Just tell him to call. Tell him put my number in WhatsApp and just call.
That's what I told him too.
Just put my number in WhatsApp and call.
I don't know. I told him to do that. Or maybe he's not. Cause he just called me and tell me to tell you to call him. Unless where he is, he's not getting a signal. I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let me go back out again.
Yeah. Let me see something. So, folks, we keep trying. We trying to get Gary #1 fan. That's Gary Mahabir #1 fan. And Ellis Laborde #1 fan, GG. We're trying to get him here in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Let me see something. Let me see. Nah, that ain't working. So don't worry. Where's a will, there's a way. We're gonna.
Well, let's reschedule it.
Oh, here we go. Hello, Mr. Griffith.
Yeah, hi.
Oh, okay. Welcome to the village of the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. How are you doing, sir? All right. So, Diana, Gary, can you hear him?
No, I'm not hearing anything.
I heard him before, but he went away, so I don't know what's going on.
Oh, how about this? Are you hearing him now? Are you hearing us clearly?
I'm hearing you clearly.
Okay,
we're here.
All right.
We're hearing him now.
Right. So, Mr. Griffith, there was a big announcement today by you that you have decided to put your hat back in the ring again to become Commissioner of Police, and you did that on Thursday, right? Can you just take us through how did you come to that decision? Why you decided to put your hat back in the ring? Because we know that you formed the NTA and you were going to compete against Dr. Rowley and Diego Martin West. Is that something that's going to change, or well, it depends on if you get the job or not. So take us through the process here.
Oh, certainly. Good evening to everyone in North America and the many persons that actually tune in Trinidad and Tobago. This is the first interview that I've done other than when I went live earlier today to announce it. So what happened basically is that I make decisions based on what it is that the country would want from me. I don't need anything. So the only reason that I do whatever I do is because of what it is that I will get and the request made by the country. I am the interim political leader of a party, and over 91% in polls conducted and the views given stated that they would like me to reapply in the capacity for Commissioner of Police. 6% odd said they want me to remain and continue to just stay focused political. So if it is that you really want to be in public office, you really want to serve people, you have to look at that concept of the voice of people being the voice of God. So I am doing just exactly what was requested of me by the rank and file of the National Transformation Alliance. And by and large, remember, it was 89% of the country asked me and they wanted me to return as the Commissioner of Police. What I had no intention to do was to turn my back on that and then have people state that I turned away from what the country needed because of my own personal need or agenda. And I don't have any. And again, there is hope that whoever else holds office would make decisions based on what is right for the country, based on what it is the majority of the country will want, and not your own personal view. So that is what I have done. It in no way must be seen that I'm not involved in politics. There's absolutely nothing. So I'll answer your question before you ask it, because there is an individual, Marshall Riley Walker from the United National Congress, which was annihilated almost 10-1 by Keith Rowley in the last general election. She had the audacity to ask, how can someone be a political leader and vie for the position of Commissioner of Police? It means, and I mean, she's the UNC's interpretation of Rhoda Barrett. She goes out of her way, and every time she opens her mouth, it will probably cost UNC more votes. So just to clarify that ridiculous comment, there is absolutely nothing that prevents that from happening. In fact, what we will see is that because I'm in a political party that is not in the PNM or the UNC, and they are the ones who hold 100% of all the political posts in Trinidad and Tobago as it pertains to from the last general election, you cannot be more neutral than I am, because I am not PNM, I'm not UNC, so it shows no political bias whatsoever. Added to which, I hold no position of authority to in any way to influence anything based on me being a political leader of a party that has absolutely no seats in government. So that is common sense. If, however, it goes into the position where I am shortlisted and we're getting close to it, well, then that is something totally different. But as it is at this time, there is nothing that prevents it from happening. And it is to be seen what would take place in the very near future. There would be certain persons that would come out of their slumber. Dennis Wren and Kirkwood from Fixing TNT, they have been on vacation for the last 8 months since I left office. And if you notice, Kirkwood, for example, he stated he was fixing TNT, and 20 consecutive releases made by him whilst I was Commissioner of Police was to have me removed as Commissioner of Police. Since I left as Commissioner of Police, fixing TNT has no comment to make. So all that in his view, the only thing that needed to fix TNT was for me to be removed. Same thing with Dennis Wren. She made 83 consecutive negative articles about me. She has gone silent. So they will probably wake up. That is irrelevant to me. I have a job to do. I applied in 2018. There were 2 different exams done. I topped it from all persons who applied for commissioner. In 2021, I got 93%. The highest senior police officer got about 75. So it remains to be seen what would happen. I have the utmost confidence in this present police service commission. The last one, unfortunately, she shifted the goalposts, and that is what caused the collapse of the Police Service Commission. So I am doing what is required, and if it is, as I said, God has given me a gift, and if He has given me a gift that can assist in helping the country, He has given me a gift that continues to make me top in the merit list, I will do what is required.
But Gary, doesn't it? I'm asking a question. Doesn't it still depend on the Prime Minister to, at the end of the day, or the cabinet to approve the Commissioner of Police?
Yes, definitely, and it shows the flaw in our constitution. So regardless of the merit list, regardless of who might come first, regardless of the situation with crime, regardless of what the country wants, one man and one man alone is going to decide. So forget about the view of the vast majority of 1.4 million. Forget about what was the situation in the last 8 months, showing the highest number, the highest rise in crime we have ever seen in the history of this country. Just for information, I think it is to be confirmed. I think there was 13 killings, 13. Today, I think it's the highest in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. This is accurate. 13 persons were killed. And then we actually had reporters today asking what is the reason why it is that we launched something today called the Coalition of Concerned Patriots, where we assembled 15 to 20 of the most powerful and brilliant minds ever seen in this country in national security. Previous deputy commissioners of police, chiefs of defense staff, heads of the National Operations Center, previous heads of the SSA, ministers of national security, all coming together in trying to find an avenue to assist the state to provide this country with their fundamental right, because crime is now the number one concern in this country. And again, so regardless, you're correct, regardless of I can do the exams, I could come first, the country may want it. When it goes to Parliament, one man and one man alone is going to decide. And it shows the flaw in our constitution. It is up to that individual to decide if it is that he believes that the voice of people is the voice of God. It is really up to him to decide if he is going to listen to what the country wants, and then he's there to serve the country. It is up to him to decide if I or whoever comes first will be the best person for the job. But again, it shows the flaws in our constitution, and it should be amended.
No, Mr. Griffith. Let's think about the Prime Minister had said that he had lost confidence in you, right? Now, how could the Prime Minister now all of a sudden, right? If let's say you are the most successful one, how could he then all of a sudden regain confidence in you when he stated that he lost confidence in you previously?
Well, the first thing he needs to do is to tell the country why did he lose confidence in me, because the comments he made initially, they were flawed, because he said it was based on comments I made 2 years ago in the Bayside incident, when it is that he was alluding to the fact that police should arrest persons in their home, and he did not really understand the laws at the time, where the police did not have such authority, and I had no intention to breach the constitutional rights of citizens, so I was 100% correct. And his legal advisors, unfortunately, did not advise him as such. So I did what was required. I did in total contrast to what Stephen Williams did in 2011, when he, instead of standing firm, because he should have known the law, he listened to politicians, and hundreds of young men were arrested illegally, unlawfully, and the taxpayers had to pay the price. So I did what was required. That was not the reason why he lost confidence in me, because that happened just about nearly 2 years ago. Last year in May or June, he had directed his Attorney General to amend the law to ensure that I act as Commissioner of Police when my term ended in August. So when you do the maths there, you look at the timeline. Why, if in May or June last year, he will change the law for me to act, then obviously it had nothing to do with Bayside. It had nothing to do with anything else other than somebody would have whispered to him. And therein lies the problem. It is hoped that the Prime Minister is not being misled, because there are evil elements in this country. Yes, 89% want me to return, but that 11% would comprise, yes, persons will have their views and they could not want to be there, and that is their right. But the majority of those persons would have been criminal elements, persons who benefited from crime, and even criminal elements within the police service, where I stopped over 140 million per annum in overtime corruption, police officers protecting drug blocks, police officers involved in trying in blackmailing persons for firearms. So I stepped on toes in and outside of the police service, and those individuals got the ears of politicians, and the politicians took the bait. So it is up to him to analyze and see what it is that you're speaking about with confidence. You lose confidence. For a Prime Minister to lose confidence in someone, what you're supposed to do is be looking at three major things. The first has to do with crime statistics. It is the highest, under my watch in my last 8 months, it was the highest reduction in crime in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Every major crime was reduced by over 35%. When I left in August, we were going at just about 320 murders per annum. The last time we had that was about 15 years ago. In the 8 months after that, we are now going close to 600 murders per annum. When I left, crime was in number 4 concern. Now it is in number 1. So that's the first thing you should look at. The second would be public trust and confidence in the police service. When I took over, it was 14%. And when I left, it was 55%. I think now it may have gone back to 14%. And the third will be the view of the country themselves, because the country, how the country perceives that person has a big part to play in that, in how the police service would perform. And as I mentioned, 89% of the country in polls wanted me to return. So for him, his confidence should be based on crime statistics, public trust and confidence in the police, and the perception of the public on the person who is appointed. Those are the three things. Not hearing persons whisper and give false, misleading, and mischievous information to mislead politicians.
Now, Mr. Griffith, what do you say about the recent news that there were 18 police officers that will be possibly arrested for the killings of the 3 young black men in Mova, and that was under your watch? What do you say about that?
Well, you know, it is interesting. So, since I left, there have been dozens of other persons killed by police, and they were black men as well. So I know you have to stress the point black, because that made it more.
But Gary, it was 3 young black guys.
It had to be.
I didn't mislead the facts.
And I guess my police officers who killed them were Flores and Maroon, yeah?
No, but I just said, but there were 3 black kids. I didn't.
I just want to the point. So the police officers who killed them, they were fluorescent maroon or psychedelic purple. Think before you talk, before you try to throw the race card in this.
No, I ain't throwing no race card, but it was 3 black kids though.
Yeah, you did. So why? So what is the reason that the men that you have to describe the color of the men?
Because whenever they describe, like for example, right, Gary.
Listen, as a reporter, if you're interviewing, think before you talk. What was the value of you saying that? Explain that to the public now.
Because Gary, that is facts. No, there were 3 black young youths. Okay, so there were 3 black kids.
So why didn't you say that they were killed? Why didn't you say that they were killed by the 18 black police officers? Why didn't you say that? That's fact too.
No, well, I don't know the race of the officers.
Oh, so you saw the 18 men. You saw the 18 police, the men that were killed again. You know the 18 police officers.
No, when I saw the CCTV, I didn't see.
So people are stupid. So we know exactly what you were trying, and I just exposed.
No, but Gary, I ain't trying nothing. I asked her.
Let us go now. So let us go now on Jacob, Mr. Jacob.
Okay.
This is a police have killed. Police just have killed several men. So it's under Jacob's watch. So Jacob is responsible. Come a little better than that. So when police officers, I have 7,000 police officers. So if a police officer does something wrong, I am responsible. I'm culpable. Please do not waste my time on a Saturday night and embarrass yourselves.
But Gary, I'm asking you. No, I'm not stuttering. I asked you a question. That's what was that was in the news, Gary.
Gary,
that was reported.
Anytime police are involved in shootings, it is under my watch. So I'm to blame. Okay, you want me to be arrested? What is your point?
But Gary, I never said that anytime.
I have asked you a question. You said it's under my watch. So what is your point? What are you getting at?
I'm asking a question. What is your position on those 18 officers?
Yeah, but he said it's under my watch. You don't. So if there's a situation with a crime that has taken place and the DPP has made a statement and so then there's an investigation, what should be done? The fact of the matter is, what it shows is that under my watch, I left no stone unturned. I did all that was required, and it is that if persons would do something outside of the law, they will pay the price. So what is your point?
No, well, and that's the answer. That's the answer.
That's what I was going to ask him.
You have just wasted 7 minutes.
But no, we didn't waste 7 minutes. I asked a question and you answered the question.
Is it that every single time that police officers shoot someone, you're going to ask the person in charge under your watch what do you think about it?
Okay, Gary, it's not. Forget about under your watch. Just you answer the question.
That's what you said. That is what you said.
But Gary, you was commissioner of police at the time.
So every time someone is killed by a police officer, you're going to ask the commissioner. So every time someone is killed in New York City, you're going to contact the commissioner of police and say, this was on your watch. What you have to say about it?
If I'm at a press conference, or if I'm interviewing the person.
Every time there's a police shooting, you're going to ask the commissioner of police, it's under your watch. So basically, you're trying to allude that this is your responsibility. You're at fault, you are to blame.
No, Gary, I never blamed you.
Is that what this interview is about, sir?
Gary,
no.
Let's move on.
Gary, can I ask you something, Mr. Griffith? Going forward, how are we?
Yeah, no, Diana wants to ask you a question. Go ahead, Diana. Diana, I'm not sure if he's hearing you though.
Yeah, you can interpret. How are you going if he's not selected?
I'll answer the question from her.
What you should be looking at. Instead of pinpointing the color of the persons that were killed, you should be looking at the fact that under my watch, it was the highest number of police officers that were suspended, the highest number that would have been arrested, the highest number of police officers that would have disciplinary action would have been taken. It is what caused public confidence and trust to move from 14 to 55% because people understood and realized that I made police officers accountable. I provided systems to ensure that there would not be abuse of authority because I put systems such as online reporting, app reporting. The PCA could confirm never before the police works so closely with the PCA. So we dealt with every single matter.
Are you hearing? The call is gone.
Yeah, go ahead, Diana. Guys, somehow Diana can't hear you. I'm going to ask Diana's question. Go ahead, Diana. What's the question?
He's not here. Oh, I wanted to ask him if he's the country may want him, the majority of the country may want him, but how do we how does the country convey this message to the prime minister, who has the ultimate say? Hey, we're not safe. We don't feel safe under Mr. Jacob. Please, we need to feel safe. What can they do constitutionally to, ensure that a capable police commissioner is in place?
So Diana is asking the question: if the people of Trinidad want you to be commissioner of police, how do they convey that message to the prime minister that the people want you to be commissioner of police?
Well, really and truly, it's really based on polls. It's based on persons making that statement. And honest to God, I mean, even when I was commissioner of police, for those 3 years, I worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, trying to transform the police service to make it as good as it could be. And I think I did the best that I could do. So this is not about me. It's definitely not what I want. I ended up in hospital on 2 occasions. There were 33 death threats to me, 8 to my wife and children. So the fact is that I am doing this specifically because of what the country wants. If it is that people do not want it in the country, that they are comfortable with what they're seeing now, that is their right. So I know for a fact, though, that there are many persons in the PNM that they were very comfortable with me. But what is unfortunate in this country, in Trinidad and Tobago, is that sometimes the political leader, he might say left, and everybody will say, yes, left is the right way to go. And then he will say right, and they say, yes, right is the correct way to go. And I think that is unfortunate. People should be independent thinkers based on what one individual says. Is that the right decision that is going to make you safe? Is that going to protect your wife from being killed, your daughter from being raped, your son from being kidnapped? People should make decisions on what is best for them, not what is best for their political party, not what their political leader says. And the more that we do that, the better the country could be. Whether you call it constructive criticism, but really when you have persons who are just like, can be seen as puppets and you just blindly listen to anything that your leaders say, that is not the way to go. So it is really based on the rank and file of the party to decide, of the public. They can decide, they can make the decision, they can speak to those persons. But I am certainly not going to be begging for a job. I certainly don't need a job. The only reason, as I said, I'm doing this. Really and truly, so if it is that the crime rate can continue to be at the same, continue to decrease as it was going under my watch, there would be no need for me to reapply. But there's been a drastic change where it is that we have seen the highest reduction in crime from January to August last year, and now we're seeing the highest spike in crime. We were seeing a situation, public trust and confidence was the highest, now it's gone to the lowest. So there are a lot of things that are not going right, and if it is that I can do what is required to transform the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to continue to get it back to how it was and to continue to reduce crime as I did then, I would offer my services in that way.
Now, Mr. Griffith, doesn't it, let's say you are selected as the COP, right? Does not then bring an end to the National Transformation Alliance, because you are basically the spearhead of that party? Doesn't it bring an end to that party or your political aspirations?
Oh, excellent point, sir. But not at all. Two totally different questions there. The first, that it would end me being political whilst I remain in the office of Commissioner of Police, but it certainly, sir, would not end the National Transformation Alliance. The National Transformation Alliance is much more than Gary Griffith. Whatever you want to call it, in 1981, it was known as the Organization for National Reconstruction with 91,000 votes. It then moved and it was changed to the National Alliance for Reconstruction. So from the ONR, it moved to the NAR with 127,000 votes. It then moved to the Congress of the People with 147,000 votes. That was 15 years ago. So if we look now, 15 years later, it's probably about 200 to 250,000 votes. Would that be enough to win an election on its own? Would it be enough to win a few seats? Time will tell. But the point being is, regardless of what you call it, that third constituency, that body of persons who are floating voters, who are not a PNM till I die, or born a UNC, I will die a UNC. And that is your right as well. But it means that body is always there. So all that I was just the mechanism to take that vehicle, build the vehicle, and to have it off and running. So with or without Gary Griffith, the NTA is there. and it is going to continue. There's an interim executive. We have, if you go on, I support Gary Griffith NTA. There are 81,000 members. 81,000. That's a higher membership than the PNM or the UNC in official membership. And I'm not here to play with numbers. I'm just giving you some facts. That third constituency of floating voters, it is there. So when it says that I may or may not be, but the leader, that body is there, and they are going to be part of the movement as it moves. We move to the election footing. The situation as it is right now, there's no need for me to step down because I hold no position of authority in Trinidad and Tobago politically. So when it is again, the Marshall Riley Walker, who is the Rhoda Barrett of the UNC, will make ridiculous comments because she doesn't understand anything about politics to ask if it can be. I hold no position of authority. You have to hold a position of authority, such as being a member of parliament, probably being on a state board, probably being a councillor. I hold none. Because if you look at that and call that a politician, there are many persons who have more political influence who are in the PNM and the UNC that are not members of parliament, attorneys, businessmen, and so forth. So you're saying that they are entitled to apply to be commissioner of police, but I am not because I'm a political leader? Not at all. So as it is at this time, I will remain as the interim leader of the NTA because the vast majority, the 92% who asked me to apply, never said anything about stepping down at this time.
Mr. Griffith, are there currently any deputy political leaders of the NTA?
But we had a long meeting. It lasted about 5 hours after the launch of the Coalition of Concerned Patriots, and that would be announced in about a week or two, where we will be announcing the interim executive, as well as there will be committee members in that interim executive. There will also be persons from provided the opportunity and they would like to be considered to be candidates for the general election and for local government. We'll also have an advisory body and also a body of specialists pertaining to different fields that the country will need to develop, be it national security, education, health, social development, finance, sport, and about three of those.
So can we say, is it an accurate statement to say that the NTA is an offspring of the NAR and the COP party?
No, what it is that there's that bridge constituency, and that's the reason why it was called the National Transformation Alliance. The point I'm getting at is that when it is, so it's not to say that we came from that, but the point is that those floating voters, they're always there. It continues to build. What happened probably 20 years ago, when you're a young man or woman in your home, your father or mother will tell you this is a PNM or UNC house, so you would vote for PNM or UNC. That has changed in Trinidad and Tobago, and that is why you continue to see the gradual increase of that bridge constituency from 91,000 to 127 to 147 to probably 200 now. And so what you're getting now is young persons saying, Dad, Mom, yes, you may be a PNM or UNC till you're dead, but it is my right to vote for who I want, especially because to vote you're over 18. So those persons from 18 to 33 never had that opportunity for that third constituency because the last option they had was the COP in 2007. So it means that it continues to build. The numbers will continue to increase. So my point being is regardless of what you call it, there will always be that bridge constituency in Trinidad and Tobago. And as I said, just for information, the last 11 general elections, on 7 occasions, there was a third political party. And on all 7 occasions, anytime there's a third political party in Trinidad and Tobago, they have ensured that it is the catalyst towards the result of the general election. So you can look at 1981, 1995, and 2007, when they stand on their own, that be it the ONR, the NAR, and the COP, they will get 127,000 votes, may not get a seat, but it will cause the PNM to win. If it is that they joined with the UNC in 1986 and 2010, it was an annihilation for the PNM. And then you also have the situation in 2001, where Ramesh Maharaj had a very simple party, and that party, as small as it was, caused the PNM to slip through and get Tuna Puna to turn it into an 1818. And also, we remember 1995 with the UNC joining with the NAR to form the government in 1995. So every time there's that third party, so when people believe that the third party is insignificant, I beg to differ. That bridge constituency has proven to be the catalyst and the deciding factor towards who gets in government.
Now, when we look at the current incidents going on in Trinidad and Tobago, what is the status with body cameras, police body cameras in Trinidad and Tobago? And here's why I asked that question, right? There was a recent shooting, I think this morning, in Movan, and a young man was killed. And based on the information in the news, that they went into this house and they said the guy was a criminal, right? And, you know, they said he made a move and they shot him dead, right? How come we don't have police when they're going into this situation having body cameras on?
Yeah, right. Well, it was a good point. And again, it was only when during my tour of duty, before Gary Griffith became Commissioner of Police, what the police officer had was verbal persuasion and moved straight to the firearm. So anytime someone confronted a police officer, they will automatically go straight to the firearm. And there was some degree of justification because they did not have anything else. What I did is I transformed the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service into ensuring we had that minimum use of force policy. It was never done before. So it was verbal persuasion and then ensuring that we had the body cameras. Then we had the communication equipment to cause backup for numerical superiority that will cause the deterrent for persons not to challenge police officers. Then we moved to police officers being issued with the pepper spray, with tasers, and even the baton by training the police officers to understand that the baton is not to be used as pain compliant, but to be used how to suppress and subdue an individual to prevent injury from that individual to himself and the police officer. All of these things, unfortunately, I pushed heavily. I acquired 1,000 body cameras if they were to be issued. I put a standard operational procedure, made it mandatory that anytime police officers, when it is that you leave your vehicle, you automatically must switch on your body cameras. If it is you have to take out a warrant, if you go into an operation. So we had it there. The reason I said is you turn it on when you leave the vehicle is because in the vehicles I also put systems to ensure we can measure performance and make police officers accountable by having the dashboard cameras on the police vehicles as well as GPS tracking. Unfortunately, the present acting Commissioner of Police, his main job so far has been to shut down, dismantle, and remove every single thing, asset, item, or individual that I establish or introduce into the police service. The end result is that the systems that you spoke about, and you're correct, it was there. His communication representative in a press conference said that you cannot force police officers to wear body cameras because there's no law. That was, I think, the most ridiculous comment ever made by any police officer representing the police service. He said that in a press conference, and he's wrong. So even though there's not a law, the Commissioner of Police can mandate through the standard operational procedure, through a departmental order, that any police officer that goes into an operation, goes into hot pursuit, leaves a vehicle, goes into a patrol, receives a warrant, you must turn on your body camera. And the body camera must not be seen as an avenue to catch the police officer in the act. It can also be used to protect the police officer when wrongfully accused by individuals. So that is the value of the body cameras. I acquired 1,000. Again, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Finance tried to find a way to say that I did something incorrectly, but I acquired 4 types of body cameras, 250 each, to be issued and to ensure, making it mandatory that police officers must use it. After I left office, that concept, that procedure has been shut down because the communication representative for Mr. Jacobs said there's no law, so you can't force them to wear it. That is where our police service has reached to now and the type of leadership that they have to encounter.
You know, I see them rolling out some motorcycles. They look real nice. You know, them motorcycles look nice, right? And they're rolling out these motorbikes for community patrol, right? If I read it correctly, right? So, I mean, it's a great idea, but it would be an even better idea. It will be an asset to have the community bikes patrolling as well as body cameras so the police can protect themselves. And at least the community can have a sense that if the police is doing anything, right, if they're doing lawful things, it will be caught on the body camera. And if the other individuals are doing unlawful things, it will also be caught on the cameras. You know, and I'm kind of surprised that in this day and age in 2022, that, you know, with all those body cameras there, it's like, do you know if any police officer that all use body cameras?
Well, again, as I said, thousands of body cameras I acquired it. And it's only because the acting Commissioner of Police, his game plan in trying to run the police service is any single thing that I established, anything I approved, anything that I put in place, whether it is the rapid response unit, the Emergency Response Patrol, the Operational Command Center, the Commissioner's Command Center, dashboard cameras, GPS tracking, tasers, pepper spray, body cameras, any the Special Operation Response Team, Covert Operative Unit, intelligence-driven policing, predictive policing, you name it, he has shut it down. He has removed it, he has dismantled it. And those are the things that played a critical part towards pegging back criminal elements. It played a very big part towards a deterrent, towards ensuring a rapid response, towards providing some degree of trust in public confidence. Training the police officers, knowing how to speak to the citizens, how to deal with them, making sure there were disciplinary measures put in place with police officers if they abuse their authority. We could even look at situations with courts. What was the norm is that you will do all the work, persons will be arrested and the officers will not attend court. There was an 83 to 91% turnaround in absenteeism of police officers just before I left. And it's because we put systems of disciplinary measures. So going back to what you stated with the body cameras, it is there. But if it is that you have someone whose only job is, that was a Gary Griffith thing, so I'm not going to utilize it. It is unfortunate. And then you have your representatives stating that it is not a law, so we can't force the police officers. I mean, that is a cop-out. It is really a ridiculous excuse. The items are there, sir, and you're correct. Just like the body cameras, just like the tasers, the pepper spray, all of these things can be used and should be used. It was there. I provided it. I set standard operational procedures for it to be used. And unfortunately, there's nothing mandatory with because the acting commissioner of police sees it as a Gary Griffith project, so it is not being used.
Now, here's a question from the chat, right? Somebody says, can you ask Gary what's his view on the firearm department that they shut down?
Well, it's a very big view. I mean, this was a situation of concern for decades in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. I was the only commissioner of police who openly admitted that there was a problem. And I was the only commissioner of police that put systems in place. I put 3 audits. I put 14 policies in place, 1-4, to stop what we've been hearing for decades with police officers abusing their authority, blackmail, extortion, trying to ask persons to pay for them to acquire a firearm. All of these policies I put in place played a very big part towards preventing and reducing that type of corruption because police officers will be at stations and they will hold applications for several years. And I ensure that you have 3 months to ascertain whether the person is capable to carry a firearm or not. And that stopped many those police officers involved in that from taking part in their trade. I also provided a card for FUS with a chip. And the reason for that is because we discovered using this old book, hundreds of books were issued. Someone will forge a book. It can then be given to a criminal element who will then be in a roadblock, have an illegal firearm and use the book. And all of these things, they were all shut down. So when it is that person speak about the concern about firearms, I was the one who put so many things to prevent it. In fact, when I issued 5,000 firearms, not one firearm under my watch that were issued was used to, was lost, was stolen, was used to commit a crime, or was used to commit a murder. 100% of all firearms used for murders in this country in the last 3 years was by illegal firearms. And the majority of those 5,000 firearms I issued were for present and past police officers, prison officers, fire officers, soldiers, sailors, members of the protective services. So, and we put stringent systems to ensure that the persons who acquired those firearms were of sound body and mind and not given to anybody. Before me, persons were losing firearms, misplacing it, negligent discharges taking place, used in criminal activity. So it showed that what we did was correct. Unfortunately, by me stepping on toes and stopping big criminal enterprise in the police service by certain elements trying to use extortion, they whispered again in the ears of politicians, and politicians took the bait. If you recall, Stanley John, this judge, had the audacity to say that I was militarizing Trinidad and Tobago by providing firearms to law-abiding citizens. You couldn't make a more ridiculous statement. He seemed not to understand that the country was already militarized by almost every criminal element having an automatic weapon out there. So what I was doing is ensuring that law-abiding citizens who required a firearm because the state was unable to properly protect them, I was providing that. And Stanley John had the audacity to claim that this was a massive, well-oiled criminal industry. It has been exposed that it was total nonsense. 2 years later, 2 persons have been arrested. 2 persons. That's how many people I arrested operations for persons from persons for illegal firearms. That should sum up my point there, sir.
So Mr. Griffith, when do you expect, if you know, that a decision will be made on the new commissioner of police?
Well, that's a very good point. It's something that I am very concerned with in Trinidad and Tobago. To appoint a commissioner of police in New York, Boston, wherever, it'll take 7 hours. In Trinidad and Tobago, it'll take several months. And it is a very serious concern because we have gone out of our way to make it so complicated to select a commissioner of police. Our chief of defense staff, commissioner of prisons, fire services, immigration, customs head, they are appointed within hours. We go through such a process with every single thing under the sun, from psychometric testing and exams and essays and interviews and background checks. And by doing that, you have to spend several months to appoint a substantive commissioner of police. It is unfortunate, but that is the way it is. So we do not know when it will be completed. The present Police Service Commission, as I have mentioned, I met with them. I have the utmost trust and confidence that they will not operate in the same manner as the previous Police Service Commission chairman, where she decided to do her own thing. They used the President's house as a post office. She tried to suspend a sitting commissioner of police illegally. She refused to listen to the mandate of the Police Service Commission to have that commissioner of police reappointed, and which is what caused the collapse of the Police Service Commission. I expect that this Police Service Commission, they are fully, they have a lot of pride. They do not want to have their names smeared in any form or fashion, and they will do the right thing. They will do the honorable thing. And if everything goes according to plan, whoever is number one on the merit list, that name will then go to Parliament. But again, as I mentioned, because of the flaws in our Constitution, one man and one man alone can make that decision. Are we going to see the voice of people with the voice of God? Are we going to have this time around the person who plays first on the merit list goes through to Parliament? Or would there be another situation of moonwalking, goalpost shifting, and Trinidad and Tobago will be back to where we presently are in this situation?
And final question for me. If you are not number one, will you abide by whoever is number one?
Yeah, that is what, listen, and that is exactly my point. When the last thing took place, when we made a whole mess of everything and the president refused to adhere to the law, the president did not adhere to the law by forwarding that merit list to Parliament. This was never about Gary Griffith. My point being is that if it is that you did not want Gary Griffith, you do the right thing, you adhere to the law, you take that merit list, you forward it to Parliament, you scratch my name off, and you go to number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7. You don't throw everything out, and then you bring an acting commissioner of police who placed about 6 or 7 the last time he applied for the position. So God knows if he's going to apply again. And that is what happened. That is how Mr. Jacob became the acting commissioner of police. But there were several persons ably qualified. I have the world of respect for DCP Earl Christopher. She would have been the first substantive female commissioner of police. That would have been wonders for Trinidad and Tobago. There were other good officers, and Mr. Norton, Mr. Williams, and these officers, instead of giving them the opportunity, you scratch all of them because of old talk, rum shop talk by an individual who is one report by an individual whose job for his last 6 years in the police service was to collect the suitcases of ministers when they arrive at GSP. And he decided to put a report, give it to politicians, little bit it is rumored, it is alleged, we have heard, AK in Trinidad and Tobago, known as rum shop talk. And that was used as the justification to shut down the merit list and to put an individual like this as the acting commissioner of police. So, as I said, regardless of this time around, there would be a merit list and there will be several persons shortlisted. If my name is removed, that be based on someone's personal view, regardless of where I place, regardless of what the country wants, regardless of what is good for the country. That is what the country will have to live with. And that person will have to accept the consequences for his or her actions. But the fact is there will be a number 2 and a number 3, and that should take place. Not shutting down a merit list, embarrassing Trinidad and Tobago, treating President's house as a post office, president refusing to adhere to the law, and all of that. All that is required is that the person who's number 2 should take the position, and we move on, and we have a substantive commissioner of police.
Well, Mr. Griffith, I want to say thank you so very kindly on a momentous occasion like this. You know, by the way, are you going to still continue campaigning with the NTA?
Top on the hour.
Hold 1 minute. Hold 1 minute first. Hold 1 minute. Mr. Griffith, hold 1 minute. 1 minute.
Top of the hour.
Yeah, I got it. All right, I got it. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. That was just the top of the hour. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I am still the interim political leader. If and when it will reach the point of me being shortlisted for the position or the names go to Parliament, that will be something totally different. But until then, as I said, in total contrast to the mischievous, ridiculous comments made by Marsha Walker Riley, who is the Rhoda Barrett of the UNC, there's absolutely nothing that prevents me from remaining as the interim political leader of the NTA and having my applying for the post as Commissioner of Police. I would expect, I have a very good view of what would take place. As I mentioned, people like Kirkwaite fixing TNT will leave fixing all of a sudden. He will probably wake up from his slumber. Dennis Wren, who was on 8 months vacation, will probably wake up now because Gary Griffith is probably vying for the position as Commissioner of Police. Because I said, one thing certain people have, their mission is to ensure that I must not be Commissioner of Police. And again, taking away that, as I said, there's good and there's evil. And I will do what is required for the good of Trinidad and Tobago. I have done it before. I will continue to do so. I will serve my country to the best of my ability.
And here's one quick last question from the chat. Ask Gigi if he will stop the charge of people wearing masks if he comes into power. Because I'm seeing officers still holding people for face masks.
No, again, I operate only based on the law, and that is where we had the issue with the Prime Minister 2 years ago, when it is that he was alluding to the fact that I should arrest persons in their home. And you could not, regardless of if the law is flawed, regardless of if the law is stupid, regardless of whatever, I adhere to the law. And if there's a law that mandates something, as ridiculous as it is, the police should adhere to it and enforce it. It is quite comical in Trinidad and Tobago, though. As it is right now, you could have 30,000 people cramp up tighter than channel and doubles, and that is okay. You don't need to wear a mask. But if you walk outside, you and your wife walk outside in a park with no one around, you can be arrested. It is the most ridiculous thing. We did research. Trinidad and Tobago is the only country in the world where it is that you can be arrested for having a mask around where miles around nobody is there. But you can go in a carnival fete with 30,000 people, no mask on, and that is okay. That says a lot about leadership in this country.
No, last thing before you go, right? Mr. Griffith, if there was 3 things that you would do differently, right, should you become the Commissioner of Police again in Trinidad and Tobago, what are 3 things that you will do differently?
Well, first, definitely, what I realized is that some of these very senior officers refuse to accept change. So the things I did in the massive transformation of the police service, they did it because I enforced it. They did not understand and appreciate technology, the importance of training, the importance of putting systems to measure performance and make police officers accountable. By me moving, they went right back to the old policing, old school, and the results are showing now. So what should have been done was trying to train persons to understand the importance of this, and not just trying to shut down and dismantle because you're not accustomed to it. So trying to train not just the younger police officers, but the older ones to understand and appreciate change. That definitely was critical. Secondly, the importance of technology. We were just touching the surface compared to the things that I wanted to put into Trinidad and Tobago to transform Trinidad and Tobago. When I speak about technology, I'm speaking about drones, turning night into day, being able to lock onto vessels entering our waters, being able to use proper technology to deal with terrorism, systems to deal with gang-related activity. And the third, border protection. Border protection definitely. This police service, they can seize 1,000 weapons per annum, which they usually do. But if you have 5 or 10 containers, which is fact, that will leave our ports every year undetected without anyone knowing, that is what will cause over sometimes 5,000 weapons could enter in one night. So we need to have a proper system to protect our borders. Sometimes that is outside of the purview of the Commissioner of Police, but I did the draft for the government. They ignored it. We need to have a proper system similar to the ports of Miami and New York, where anything that enters, it is checked. We are not doing that, and we need to put a proper border protection unit to ensure it comprise police, soldiers, sailors, immigration, customs, have the guards guarding the guards, because the police cannot set foot on any of the ports, and that will cause a problem. So those 3 things will be off the top of my head. Well, I think will be mandatory if it is in the transformation of the police service and to improve national security.
And here's one thing I just thought about, right? Is the NTA going to contest the upcoming local elections and the 2025 elections with or without you? When I say with or without you, if you become police commissioner, it's a 3-year contract, right?
Yeah, well, that's my favorite song from the best man in the world, you too, with or without you.
You have some comedy too, right? Right?
It's definitely not going to be a one-man show. So it is not based on Gary Griffith deciding. As I mentioned, there's going to be an executive. The executive will decide. The political leader just one vote out of 21 odd. So for me as the interim political leader to say that this would happen and this would not happen, I think it would be inappropriate. It will show that there will be no difference to other political parties where what the leader says, everyone will follow. This party is not going to be like that. It's not going to be a dictatorial party just run by one person making that decision. Having said that, I would like to believe, my personal view, is that the reason you form a political party is to get into politics, is to get into the election. Failure to do so, then you are nothing more than an activist group. And I can assure you that the NTA is not an activist group. It is much more, and it may very well be the catalyst towards the decision and the results of the next general election and the local government election.
Well, Mr. Griffith, I want to thank you so much. And I want Diana and them, somehow something went wrong with the phone tonight. I don't know, like it was just supposed to be me and you talking, you know, both of us on other ends of the spectrum, you know what I mean? But it's okay. But we want to thank you so much for taking the time on such short notice to come to these videos. And I want to say to you, right, Mr. Griffith, is that we hope that should you become commissioner of police, that you will then still give us a little ear sometime to come back and speak with us. Whether you are commissioner of police or...
Sure. Anyone who holds public office, I think you must never shirk your responsibility and hide from the media. I would always have very exciting conversations with the media. I will give my views, they will give their theirs. But one thing I will never do is to shirk my responsibility and hide from the public. That is a responsibility. If it is you do not do that, well then you're not doing your job. I am not a coward. I have been trained. It's to face my problems, face critics, and have conversations with them, and also to bring forward to the public what are my views, what are my problems, what are my concerns. I am definitely not perfect. I will never be perfect. But what I am, and I will continue to be, is a patriot to this great country, Trinidad and Tobago.
Mr. Griffith, we want to thank you so much and for taking the time to join us. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we couldn't
So
join
guys,
in on.
I'm sorry, because what happened is that all of a sudden the phone didn't the phone supposed to, you guys supposed to hear him and I'm supposed to hear him. Maybe that's something to do with the connection on the board, but I have to try and get that fixed because that's kind of important.
That's when it will take a lot of political maturity for him to become the next commissioner. You know.
I think it's not going to be easy, man, because and at the end of the day, I said what I had to say about Gary Griffith. I mean, when Gary Griffith was there was a perception that people felt safer in the country, and I still feel that, even though that we are on different ends of the spectrum, and he was kind of offended with the question, but I don't see what's offensive if I'm saying that 3 black people get murdered in this country. One black guy gets shot with 60 bullets. They say a black guy get killed.
Yeah, Anselm, when you really think, can I finish? Let me finish my statement. When you really think about it, you could have just said 3 young men and leave it right there, because more than likely it's the same people who administered the abuse to their people. You know what I mean? So it could have been just 3 young men and just leave it right there.
But Tommy, look, the guy who just gets 60 bullets. When you listen to CNN and MSNBC, you know what them they say?
Different demographic.
But then they say a young black man was shot 60 times.
Yes, because what happens is that there's a contrast. The majority of law enforcement is not black.
But so if the majority of law enforcement is white, if a white guy get killed, you should say a young man got killed.
No.
But no, that's what you're saying though.
Yes, no, there's a major divide with black and white in this country. That doesn't exist in Trinidad because Indian people are black people, African people are black people. If you're gonna make a
the race thing, that you can't do that to Trinidad. You have to handle Trinidad differently.
He doesn't. He doesn't mean a race. He doesn't mean a race cardinal. He just feels he has to specify who it is, which is like a given. We know already who it is.
But Tommy, if I am reporting something and I say 3 young men were killed, it is left to you now to decide, right, what type of young person that was.
But you know, what is it? Why is it so?
And it is simple. In Trinidad, did I say 3 young black men? I don't have a problem with that.
Yes, I agree. We say that, but at the same time, we could say three young men from over right away. You know exactly who it is, or more
so you want them to read in between lines because they're from over, they will be black. That's what you're saying.
And the law, and like he said, the 18 officers who were indicted, most likely they share the same.
But Tommy, nobody know what's the makeup of them 18 officers. The 18 officers were right there. So we had to go and look and count the 18 officers, but we saw the 3 black men. We don't know who the 18 officers were.
At the end of the day.
But Tommy, when they put a report, do they normally tell you whether the police officer is black, blue, pink, or they always tell you the victim, the color of the victim?
Yeah, they would the so-called perpetrator, as they would wanted to label them. They try to tell you who they are, what they're
correct.
However,
we can change the narrative by.
Do you see that description in the press when it takes place? In the Express, Guardian, or whatever? Do you see that description? Or
that was black kids?
Or they see 3 men from Movant or wherever, Sandy Grande or Mayaro or wherever it is.
Let me look at one right now. Let me look at that one from
recent shooting. We have a recent shooting up in Port of Spain there.
Let me look at it. Hold up. Cop shoot. Let me see this. Hold on,
Yeah.
Cop shoot. Young man, L-U-N-G. Hold on, Young man in. Hold on. Google the one with the hold on. I want to look for that one I just read.
Because I don't remember seeing too much of that. It could be, most of the time you're seeing a social media kind of a description.
Okay, so what they will say, they normally will say Afro or Indo. That's what they normally will say. Afro or Indo. What's the difference?
They're both black people as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, what's the difference?
Okay,
Amen.
So they're giving a description of the victim, which is a description is identity, not necessarily a racial motivation. There is just a description.
But Tommy, Gary, I never said that from a racial motivation perspective.
No, I'm just telling you that when you try to specify, well, the police shooting black men or this, that, or the other, a lot of the times the descriptive literature is to really identify the people, not so much to give a proper description. I don't think it has, but in Trinidad and Tobago, the majority of the police force is people of Afro descent. We have a few Indians in between.
But Gary, that was never my point. My point had nothing to do with the makeup of the police force. Absolutely nothing.
So I'm saying, I understand your point, but what I'm saying to you, there is no discrimination in that fact. What we have is a situation where.
But I never said anything about discrimination, though.
What I'm saying, the police there's a mixture of incidents and issues with the police. There are police officers who are entangled with some of these young men that might want to kill them to shut them up. That could be one of the reasons.
Right.
So sometimes you would find that. And then so there's a mixture of things. You really can't compare one thing to the other thing because there's so many variety.
But there was not any comparison.
So that was the point I was trying to make it earlier.
But it wasn't no comparison. I said what
any comparison. I'm just saying in general, you can't say one or the other because a lot of times you have to look at the circumstances and the evidence surrounding the circumstances before we make a conclusion. Like for instance, the police with the incident with the 18 officers, they shot the guy, they didn't have a gun in their hand. We don't know, what happened before they get there to that point. There were also several incidents where the young men tossed the gun when the police reach up on them, and the people say, oh, they're wicked and all they're doing the boy this and that and the other, and the whole village want to attack the police.
Gary, stop. Even if they tossed the gun, when the police reach on them and they didn't have a gun, so because they tossed the gun and they didn't have a gun, you still kill them?
But police officer, dealing with that situation, you don't know they tossed the gun?
No, well, listen. You said they tossed it. That's what you said. But many unarmed persons are being executed in an extrajudicial manner, and that's what we're beefing about. We're not talking about.
Yeah, but what I'm saying.
And that was my point. That was my point with the three guys in Nova. That was the point.
Before you unarmed.
That was the point.
In the heat of the incident, in the chase, and the guys toss the gun and you don't see it and you fire upon them.
If you don't see, then you don't see them with a gun, then they don't have a gun. If you don't see it, if you don't see a gun on them, then they don't have a gun. You have no need to fire upon them,
but
especially not firing at you.
If you in that situation, listen to what I'm saying to you. If you in that situation and you being fired upon and you didn't see them toss the gun, you still assuming they have the gun in their hand?
Okay, if you've been fired upon, but 9 times out of 10 they're not fired upon.
But tell me what I was making police.
A cockamamie story.
These young men have no respect or regards for police like we do,
No, I'm not disputing that, but I'm saying the actions that they say that are being perpetrated against them are false 9 times out of 10. That's what I'm saying, and we know that.
I don't think it's 9 times out of 10. We do have a mixture of
well, then put on the body cams and prove that you're right.
We need the body cams. But what I'm saying to you is you can't classify or paint a broad brush across because we have a mixture of situations and incidents. So you have each situation.
But Gary, you just paint broad brushes all the time.
But we have to look at
it. All of a sudden, you don't want to paint a broad brush, and you the broadest brushes painter here. You just paint brush all the time, you just paint broad brushes all the time, Gary. All the time.
You would like to perceive that, but that is not the objective here.
I would like to perceive that. It's not me. It's not you. It's 4 of us in here, It's not just you alone, It's 4 of us,
Remember earlier on tonight you described the man in Mova as a criminal.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
You describe him as a criminal.
So what I'm saying is, if the police, I just made a statement in the sense that if the police kill somebody in the sense of a criminal that's dangerous to society, they have also saved the taxpayer some money in the cost because
Gary, again, watch it again. You don't know if even if the person is a criminal and the person didn't retaliate against the police, you are saying the police have a right to kill them.
No. I am not saying that. I'm not saying the police.
But that's what I'm saying. Because I read the article. Anyway, we don't go back down that road.
I'm not saying that.
We're not going back down that road. We're not going back down that road. We're not going back down that road. We passed that subject.
If they draw on the police, and the police,
Gary, even if they draw on the police, you can't go around executing people. So Gary, you can't be doing that.
Yeah. Listen, Gary. Wait, Gary. Someone said there was no report of any gun being thrown from the car. Gary sticks to facts and not rebuttal facts.
Hey, there's no evidence because you don't know what happened down the street before they reach there. So, but the thing about it is, if somebody pull a gun on me, I shoot him back.
Yeah, but in these instances, there's no gun being pulled on nobody, and with these 18 officers, there's no evidence and no proof of a gun being pulled on them. They executed these three young men in cold blood.
They're missing the point. We don't know before that they
We know these three men were executed. That's why the 18 officers are being persecuted.
Okay.
So here's Judy's point. Judy says
2 miles down the street. We don't know what they did before they get to that point.
Whatever they did, Gary, whatever they did before, whatever, they did not warrant them being executed.
Diana, Tommy, and Gary, we're not going back down that road.
Thank you.
We've been down that road already, and that's done and over. We're not going back down that road. We had enough of that. Okay? So Judy says, Wall Street, if was China man, they would say Chinese or Syrian if got killed. But black lives don't matter. That's it's facts. It's facts. Then you raise a point. If there's 3 black youths in Nova get killed, and I say 3 black youth, how is that race or anything like that?
So, how a black person's life don't matter? How they could say a black person's life don't matter in Trinidad and Tobago? How they could say that? Anybody could, in their right mind, could say that in Trinidad and Tobago?
Because Gary, they getting gunned down mercilessly.
So who doing it?
You know, Gary, it doesn't matter who is doing it, Gary.
Indian doing it, the Syrian doing it.
You see, there you go.
You can't bring it in.
You see? I talk about black. No, you bring up Indian and Syrian. And when I talk about black, it's supposed to be, I'm not supposed to talk about race.
I am making a point here. Right? The point is.
So what I was doing, wasn't I making a point too?
But who doing the killing? And they're killing each other? So who you want to blame?
Trinidadians.
You can't blame no particular.
Trinidadians.
Listen.
That is the point. You want to blame. This is a turf war. This is territory war. They have gang here and gang there.
Trinidadians.
Gary, Ray Stein says, Gary, you need to live in Trinidad for a while, then yap the way you do.
We have gang and turf warfare going on in the country, right?
Curry says, Ray Stein, he maybe want criminals to know a new Chinese man in town. Gary boy, you know, that's what I say. That's mouth open to we jump out. That's what I say.
Yeah. I think we have blown our horns loud enough for one night.
Yeah. You know what? So listen.
You have to deal with this on a community level to prevent it to the extent it's gone. It's gone too far. All right? It's gone too far. And this is showing evidence of lack of family structure, community structure, and all these things fail. And religious structure.
Ulrich say, yeah, Gary, Trinidad black lives don't matter.
But how you could say that?
That's not what he means, Gary. That's not what he means, Gary.
Prime Minister says he's the blackest man in the world.
But Gary, that's not what he means. Gary didn't understand. All right.
How you could say that? How you could say that?
Oh Lord.
All right. No, you didn't understand his statement. Anyway, listen, folks. Fishstick, Ray Stelt, Kapiza Ulrich, Caris, Judy Descent, Rennie Mohammed, Richard Ramroop. Hey, Diana, that your fella. That your fig man.
Yeah,
Richard Ramroop. Yeah, that the fig man. Nadia and Eileen.
Richard with the bananas, boy.
He's trying to get them Sikia fig right because, you know, it's only Sikia here. You know them little small little fig?
Richard, I ain't coming to Trinidad again, boy.
Yeah, when you come to Trinidad, you go only get your Sikia, them small little, like, you know, 1 inch fig.
Richard, what's going on, boy?
Chiquito.
Chiquito. Richard Ramut only wants that Chiquito fig. It's Paquito or Chiquito?
Chiquito.
Yeah. Richard Ramut. Yeah, man, I mean, you know, you must even plant nothing in the backyard, boy. You know, as young as they go planting in the backyard. Oh God. Which door, Judy? Judy, want me close some door? Which door you want me close? So, folks, Richard Ramon says small fig sweet, Diana.
I wouldn't know. I've never had one, Richard.
You never had a chiquito? A chiquito?
All right,
Huh?
killing on the street. We seen the blood spilling. All right, up to I mean, there's recent video footage there of the killing continue. And don't tell me we can't stop it. All right.
Well, Gigi was stopping it coming back.
Hey, Gary, we talking about a light-hearted thing. We talking about figs now. All right, we leave that alone now. We had to come down. We talking about figs now.
Yeah, Capiza said Chiquito does take 9 months to bear. Oh God, Richard, a 9 month 1 inch fig. Oh God.
Oh Jesus Lord.
Jesus Christ. How long does it take a moko? You know the moko is the big one, right?
I stick at the defense softly everything. Don't worry.
The moko is the big fat one, right there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Richard,
I don't know about no 1 inch sticky. Yeah, I never had none of them. So.
Well, I mean, Richard say he does take. He say he can plant one in his backyard.
I don't waste time with no 1 inch sticky fig. I don't waste my time with that thing.
Diana, fig have potassium in it. It's potassium.
I don't waste time with no 1 inch sticky figs.
As a runner, I eat a lot of bananas because of potassium. Right?
I don't waste time with 1 inch sticky nothing. I don't waste time with nothing that's 1 inch. Let's go. Let's get it straight.
Okay.
How much banana you eat for the day?
Who's that, me?
I don't. What?
No, I just put 2 bananas in the smoothie every morning.
Oh, okay.
What is Mataboro?
I don't know.
Mataboro is a type of fig. A type of what is that? Is it a fig or plantain?
Yeah. I don't know. Moko is the one. Them don't grow. Them just grow fat, right? Them don't grow. Sikia is the real small one. That's the one Richard does grow. And Diana never had no Sikia in her life.
I don't waste time with nothing that's 1 inch. All right, good.
Hey, listen. So listen, we want to thank Mr. Gary Griffith again for taking time to join us in the village with the Dark Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Of course, you know, there's and listen, and that's what's good when we come in the village. There are different opinions, you know, respect everybody's opinions, and that's what makes the world go wrong, in that, you know, everybody don't have the same opinion. And everybody had the same opinion, we wouldn't be the type of world that we are today. Right? So somebody put a closing song in the chat, you know, and we'll close. And I even get to all the news. I had all the time I spent, all the work I spent putting all that news to get, you know, Diana.
You spent time talking with Ulrich friend Motoma.
Oh, Ulrich don't like that fella at all, you know. Ulrich say something about if Gigi come into power, he leaving the PNM and going and vote for the UNC, something like that.
So you're gonna vote for PDP?
No, I think he said you leaving the UNC and going to vote for the PNM. PDP, is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all right, the PDP. So you leaving the UNC and vote for the PDP. You know, and that's what it is in the chat.
No. He said you're gonna form your own party.
No, you didn't say that. No, you said it earlier. Huh?
Rennie Mohammed said King Lion Lord Nelson.
King Lion Lord Nelson.
That might have copyright. You know.
Diana, check it for me.
Hey, Ulrich are coming down to help Gigi this time, boy.
Yeah. No. Ulrich don't like Gigi for nothing, boy. Ulrich, I feel Ulrich. Wait, listen now.
All the cocaine room to give them bad boys to sweep there.
But here this one now. Judy say all bananas fig matters. It depends on the soil that produces the sweetness. What? Look, Judy, what? All bananas fig matters. It depends on the soil that produces the sweetness.
Oh. I don't care about the soil it's in. If it's 1 inch, I am not wasting time with it, honey.
Oh God, look, Judy said it depends on the soil, boy.
I don't care about no soil.
What
If
type
it's
of soil?
one,
What type of soil, Eric? What type of soil you have in your backyard?
if it's 1 inch diameter, don't even want to see it. I ain't even
Hey,
peeling it.
hey, Ellis, I go call you off here. I did something there that caused some problems for you, but we go deal with it off here.
But listen,
Which video?
King Liar is copyright.
Oh, when you gotta get next one, that one copyright. You will block me for that. So folks, again, it's always a pleasure going in the village. We had with us tonight the former commissioner of police, the current political leader of the NTA, who is vying again for the commissioner of police. I don't know how that will work out. I mean, I don't know.
But honestly, between me and you, my friends in the village, do you really think that we are matured as a society enough to see that happen?
Not with what's his name at the helm.
The
Cause
last
he is a
word.
bully.
The man with
He
the last
is a-
word, I don't think he has political maturity that
Yeah,
that
he's a bully. Yeah, he's a bully, and he vindictive, and he is a. I call it like it is me don't care. He's a old fella, and he carrying grudge, right? And if someone else, if they don't modify the constitution, and that's why I wanted if you could get Hochoy Charles in here, people that versed in the constitution, and Hochoy Charles and Karen to share your friend,
Yeah.
right? People like that, we get them in here and find out that if they can circumvent Dr. Keith Rowley.
But no.
Yeah.
Gary, what you saying?
It don't matter what they suggest the constitution to be changing. We are dealing with what is now, and that is going to cause the effects. Is what we're dealing with now, but the people in the country, people in the country have to get up and stand up for themselves and raise their voice. I mean, we outside, we trying our best to kind of remotely kind of assist, but them on the ground have to get up and get their focus. If they're more concerned about jamming naked, stick and dirty than standing up for what going on in the country, people, you see blood spilling like water on the ground, and you are acting like there's nothing big going on in the country. People going hungry, children going hungry. Half of the children didn't do good in the SCA. And you still acting like everything fine and dandy, you going out there and jam? Get your priorities straight, man.
Yep.
So we could do what
Judy,
we want here if them don't get up and try to make a difference.
Yep.
So
And let me tell you, Dr. Like Ansem always said, Dr. Rowley is a very astute politician. He's using a lot of things to distract them from the real things, right? That they should be getting up and standing up for. Now, a whole heap of them went to this stink and dirty thing, right? But it's a whole heap of them go get up and act stink and dirty if they don't get a proper police commissioner to put things in place to make them feel safe. I want to see that happening.
Well, they were safe enough to go and get on stink and dirty.
Stink and
they were safe enough to go and do it. So
let me see.
Gary, Nadia says, Gary Mahabir, well said, sir. You see, Gary, you support, man. Don't worry yourself. Judy says, Wall Street, love this show. Always a mix of laughter and serious topics. Yeah, Judy, if you do, tell a friend to tell a friend. And don't forget, guys, all you have to subscribe to WZYE TV on YouTube.
Highly say small pin does joke hard. I ain't care how hard small pin does joke highly. I want to see it.
I this song, You know that song?
I look it up. I was trying to buy Beckett. My favorite Calypsonian. Small pin does joke hard. Yeah,
if you have a small sickie.
I don't even want to see. I don't want to see nothing small. Sorry. Nope.
All right. So, Fix, there we go. Closing comments, Gary.
It was fun. I will say good night, everyone, and think about what's going on in your country, and know that you have to make a difference. You just can't be a spectator in this. We need soldiers. We don't need the spectators. So I would say jump into the fray and make a difference. With that, I would say good night.
Thank you, Gary.
Good night, Gary.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tommy.
You know, I'm just going to utter the words of Thomas Sowell. He says, when you want to help people, you tell them the truth. When you want to help yourself, you tell people what they want to hear. And I think we could take that for what it's worth. However, it's been a pleasure being in the village tonight. Look forward to seeing you and being with you all again. Love you all. Be safe. And those of you here in the U.S., happy Independence. Happy 4th of July.
So, yeah, thanks, Tommy. Man, somebody only put in one set of spam in the chat, boy.
Yeah,
You see all that
boy.
chat?
And I
You see
keep
all that?
blocking them, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the PNM.
Nah, that's not the PNM. PNM is got blamed for everything. PNM they use spam. So, folks, Jimmy Carter says the measure of a society is found in how they treat their weakest and most helpless citizens. Again, the measure of a society is found in how they treat their weakest and most helpless citizens. From where I sit, this is it. The clock on the wall said that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent. When talent does not work hard, and for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. Where, Diana?
I want to say, the oppressor is only as strong as he is because he has accomplices amongst the oppressed. The oppressor is only as strong as they are because they have accomplices amongst the oppressed. That is all from me, your poet and global ambassador tonight. Good night, beloved people. Stay safe. And to those celebrating 4th of July, happy 4th. Stay safe. Don't go messing with them fireworks and blow off all your finger. Good night.
Okay, so Rennie Muhammad says, we are all one people under the same sun. Peace and love to everyone. Rajvi says, be safe, everyone. Kapisa wants to know, I want to cause some trouble, give out the Democrats of the kids that fail and where they live. That's the SEA. Let me see. Hailey sent a message for Diana. Small Pinders chook hard. Ask Sandra. Ask Stella.
When he sent a message for her too, Diana, I could make you feel safe.
I don't want to see anything small. I'm sorry.
Kapisa says he have Chiquita, but the windows break the tree trunks.
Poor fella.
Judy says,
said, Wall Street, love the show. Always a mix of laughter and serious topics.
Yeah. Judy says, Diana, if you love someone, the fakes don't matter. Good treatment.
I don't care. I don't that the fig matter, honey.
Richard Ramrup says, my closing comments is the storm almost hit Trinidad because it was safe to come true because Rowley was not in town. Rowley is the only man that Steve went.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I tell you. Eileen says, closing comment. Tell Gary put on Kylie says, tell Gary put on the rum bottle because the rum jumping in his brain and burning his common sense. He just can't go on this way.
Oh Lord.
Gary,
Eileen, you're wicked, but you're wicked. All right, Gary hard. Ulrich says, don't let the opinion of others cause you to make wrong decisions. Have a blessed night, everybody. Thank you, Ulrich. Let me see. I'm going back here. Oh, God. You know.
I at least said the clock on the wall say vote Pep. I put some pep in your step.
Ali's the real Pep fella, you know. All of these one family, you know.
Nadia said, Ansler, you make me laugh tonight. You made my night.
With what? Yeah, happy July 4th to everybody. All right, so all right, I will just go to that song here in the thing, boy. Which one is this here? All right, I love my country. Oh Or should we play 36? Is that a donkey in there?
Yeah.
No, Trinidadian does lie. Let me go with Choke. I think let me go with Cover Me. I like this one. Let me go to this.
Keep me as the apple of thine eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wing. O Lord, my Savior. It's so hard to deal with personal struggle. So sad when you feel alone in your trouble. It's real hard when you want to talk to a brother. It's so bad because of how some look at you after. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my head. Satan want me dead. Cover my back from human attack. So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. People see you smile, but don't know the hurt that you're feeling. Even as God's child, at times your heart does be bleeding. Where can you go when you're really looking for healing? Who know how to flow when your soul needs some restoring? So Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me home from evils unknown. Cover my feet so I'll never retreat. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover my brother. Cover my sister. Them who under pressure. Cover the preacher, every church worker, the young believer. Cover the worship leader and intercessor, every gospel minister. Cover. Jesus alone is the one who has the real answer. The one on the throne is the true and loving Father. He will hold your hand and keep you from going under. He will make you stand and let you know he's a fixer. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover me mind. You know the struggle sometimes. Cover me mouth, that the wrong thing wouldn't come out. Oh Lord, cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Cover me while you fix it. Jesus, cover me. Cover the Christian in the midst of aggression with the power of your right hand. Jesus, cover them helpless children. Jesus, defend them. Send help from heaven. Jesus, cover all them radio stations that blessing the nation. Grant divine protection. Jesus, cover.